Hi.
Hey!
This is the good surprise. It's my fault. I clicked the go live button and we're only like a minute late, but it didn't work for some reason. But anyway, hello.
Hello. We were legitimately talking to ourselves for like a full
For a minute
minute.
there. Yeah. Welcome to Dragonmount, everybody. I don't know if anyone watching can tell, but we got a winner for the next
Yay.
rewatch show we're gonna watch.
Drum roll.
Hey, Rosa, Gnomon Garden. Hello, friends. And it's a show that I own very little merchandise for, I promise. I don't have, a giant stuffed head that is, part of a rug or several t-shirts and art. There's new art on my wall right there. You can't really see it. It's a little small. It's Uncle Iroh. Yeah, so Avatar won. It was actually pretty close. So Avatar had 34% of the vote, and it was like 30-40 for a little while, and then Vox Machina started pulling votes from Good Omens, and like it ended up 34% Avatar, and then like 25-25 or 26-24 Vox Machina, Good Omens, and Wednesday was the least with like 15. But yeah, we're going to be watching Avatar Book 2 Earth is our next rewatch, so I'm pretty excited about that. Though the other thing that I'm very excited about is some pretty awesome guests that we have today. One of them is a family member of mine from another person, or a sister from another
sister. There you go.
I'm just being silly because I took my medicine today. Anyway, look, here comes an awesome guest.
Yay!
Hi, my brother from another mother.
Gus, did you like my
I love that.
Gus
yes,
is like, oh my God, what was that?
That was me being an idiot.
We always encourage being an idiot here at
That's
Will
the way to
Takes.
do it.
That is kind of our brand, actually, which is the best brand to have, because then when you're an idiot and everyone calls you an idiot, you go, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is my question for you in regards to that. Is your theme movie Idiocracy?
Oh, I like that movie.
Ooh.
It is a fun movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
What?
Oh, I gotta watch it.
Don't watch it because it's depressing.
It is so parallel to real world today. You have to watch it though. Yeah. You really do. It's 20 years old, and the parallelisms are scary.
Oh, Luke Wilson's in it?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, my fabulous guest, Beth Doman of Beth Doman. I mean, that's what your channel is, right?
It says right there.
It's right there on the wall, in neon, in beautiful neon.
I love that it's in neon. We need to get one of those.
It is pretty.
I'll send you the Etsy link where I got it.
Yeah, make it happen.
And then Alie and some dude from WoT Book. No, I'm just
it's me.
The lovely Alie and
I'm
some dude.
And some guy.
Yeah. No,
Gus,
we've had you on before. We love you.
We love you, Gus. We love you.
So, Gnomon Garden. Yes. So Gnomon Garden said he's going to have to start his watch of Avatar. So don't worry about that. If you have not seen, so we're going to be like book 2. So they call the Avatar seasons book 1, 2, 3. So we're going to be starting technically with season 2. But next week, we're not going to do like a full episode of the rewatch. Like we're not going to start with episode 1 of Avatar. We're going to do like a recap of Wheel of Time, talk some Wheel of Time news, and go over season 1. Like we'll talk about season 1 of Avatar, also some clips and some images, and we'll chat about it. Anyone that hasn't watched Avatar but wants to watch the rewatch with us, you can come and tune into that, and you'll get the gist of season 1, and we'll talk about it, and I'll nerd out a lot because I love Avatar.
We are
so quick question
of Avatar over here, so this is exciting news.
Yeah, you guys you're welcome to come back. Your pick of the episodes.
Okay, so quick question. Is this the animated show that you're going to be watching?
Yes, the animated show.
Okay, because I haven't seen any Avatar ever, and I'm withholding for the live action to do reactions to it, like I did with One Piece. So I don't want to spoil myself, so I love you, but I'm going to probably be in absentia for those.
That's okay.
We'll be here.
You can always just leave the stream on and mute us.
That's true. I could do that. Yes, which I frequently do.
Yeah.
So
I do that for my friends all the time.
Avatar came out when I was, and I won't say how old, but I've been a fan for much of my life.
Yeah.
Are you a lifelong fan? That's all that matters.
Well, I was born before Avatar came out.
Yeah.
So
fair.
I think
Fair.
we were pretty much right in the target.
we were right in the
age.
target demo.
So.
It's funny that
My
you have
son
to-
was too, actually, because I do remember my son's 27, and I do remember him watching it as a child. It might have been reruns, at that point.
About right.
Yeah,
But-
that's about right.
Yeah. I never sat down and watched it with him. I remember it being on in the background, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of just like it was that time frame,
Oh,
you know?
shit, Yu-Gi-Oh. I forgot about
And
Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, and I'm just gonna say for the record, I voted for Vox Machina because Vox Machina is everything. That's
Vox Machina is a great show.
it's fantastic. Oh, and I have a suggestion for you,
Shoot.
Sandman.
Oh
yes,
yeah,
we
Sandman.
did.
I actually, it took me a while to finish Sandman because it was a little depressing, to be honest.
Episode 11 is the best one.
Yeah,
With
no,
Calliope.
I love.
I mean, just gonna say, but if you haven't seen it yet, it's so fan. If you're a fan of Neil Gaiman, because you touted Neil Gaiman with Good Omens, but
yeah, I love Neil Gaiman.
Sandman is groundbreaking TV in my opinion. It was so excellent.
It's definitely on the list for sure because I love
Cool.
Neil Gaiman a lot. Like just as a person, forget about
Yeah.
also as an author. But yeah,
Okay, I'm done talking.
it's
I'm
okay.
listening.
It's safe to say I'm a pretty big Avatar fan. So this is my most recent tattoo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are those the elements?
Yeah,
Almost like-
yes, they are. The nations of the world are the
Okay.
air, nation, water, fire, earth.
That's amazing, Tom.
Yeah, my cousin did that at her tattoo shop that she owns in New York, which is pretty cool.
Very
That's
good work.
so-
That's fantastic.
I've always wanted a tattoo that didn't have the black outlining, and
Yeah.
I was up there for sad reasons, and I got a tattoo. So it was fun.
Getting tattoos for sad reasons is totally valid.
Yeah, me and like 6 of my cousins all went to the shop, and we're getting tattoos.
That's
We
amazing.
canceled the whole appointments for that day, and we all got tattoos. It was fun.
I love that. And it was done
So
by a family
cool.
member, so it was done with love.
Yeah, and it's her shop too, which is awesome. I'm really proud.
That's
of her.
amazing. I love that.
Anyway,
That's so special.
yeah. We were all gonna get like commemorative tattoos, and then we were like, we're all very different people. I'm like, I'm like the only super nerd other than my other male cousin who wasn't there, and it was like 4 females, and none of them are like book nerds or anything like that or video games. So they're all like, one of them's a geologist. She was gonna get like an elemental like periodic table thing.
I mean, geology is pretty nerdy, just like a different kind
yeah.
of.
It is pretty
You look
nerdy.
at rocks all day.
Yeah, I want to make a geologist joke now, like from Big Bang Theory, but I can't think of it.
There was a class at Northwestern that was known to be the like science distro for jocks and theater people. Like it was a way to get your science credit out of the way. It was called Geology 101, and everyone called it Rocks for Jocks.
Love it. I'm here for it.
Well, some people qualify, just from birth for having rocks for jocks.
Yeah. And our friend took Rocks for Jocks and did so well in it that the teacher like emailed him and was like, I think you should strongly consider a career in geology.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
So then
Cool.
all of us sent text messages to him congratulating him on his career in geology. And it was
good for him though. Geology is
it was a
pretty
great day.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. By the way, I am
Oh, go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say I'm loving the secret lab chair. That's like my dream chair.
It's a good.
That
chair.
you're yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Seriously?
I try really hard to in meetings and stuff not look like I have a gaming chair as my chair.
Chair.
Just for like,
As
professional reasons. So I once was like, I'm gonna take this off because it always gets commented on. They're like, Secret Lab, like what is that?
oh
And
my
like,
god,
gaming
it's
chair,
the
but it's so-
premier gaming
And so
chair
I
of
was like,
gaming
what if-
chairs.
take the pillow off so that
You
they don't
have neck
notice.
support.
Then you're like that.
Yeah, it also says, yeah, well,
I was
Still
torn.
there. It's not as evident though. Is it
Still there.
Velcroed?
no, that one's magnetic.
It's magnetic.
Oh, it's got a magnet. That's
This is
what?
why. This That's goals right there for me.
Seriously.
No,
you want to be super jealous? Erin, my wife got the Secret Lab
Magnus Pro desk.
Oh, that's what I have right here.
What?
Okay, we'll have to have a conversation off stream about this because I am really jealous right now, and screw you and your epic gaming desk with all of your stuff built in.
It seems like we're all jealous of each other because I'm jealous of your neon sign.
Of your whole setup.
We're all jealous of each other.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? Let's just bring our jealousy together and have love about the Wheel of Time and the awesomeness that is the season finale of season 2.
Beth,
like
what
nothing,
an excellent
what a
transition.
Nice segue, Beth.
I'm trying to segue in.
You should do this professionally.
I have to pimp because Erin shouted yay when I said I was going to say she has a Batman themed Secret Lab chair.
Erin, I love you. I want to get the Overwatch one for Kiriko has an Overwatch. They have a Kiriko Overwatch one. It's like $400, and I just can't bring myself to do it yet. Like, maybe someday.
Gus has been on before, so he knows the deal. But Alie, so for our chat, is a first time reader.
It's true.
Yes.
You are currently on chapter. I think it was like
9.
Posted your link to your 9. So 9. I posted your link to your podcast in the thing, so everyone go check it out if you haven't already. And today, usually at the end of the show, like we'll do books 1 through 3 for the first bit until we watch the episode, which by the way, if you're going to watch on Twitch, go and queue up the episode so that you could watch along with us. And then we do a full series spoiler at the end of the episode. But this season we've had first time readers like yourself on, and we tailor it to fit the first time reader. So this time I have my little thing says book 1 through 10.
It's me.
And I figured beforehand we could just refresh people's minds on some of the major events of what happened. Oh,
and don't be like me and accidentally say
my
stuff
wife apparently
where Alie has to take her headphones off like this really fast. Or when you're live and you're on a panel at JordanCon,
I was
go
texting
like
my
this.
cat sitter. I was texting my cat sitter though when you did that. When you did that at JordanCon. Remember this? You were like all upset, and I was like, I was texting my cat sitter to make sure that she's actually coming today, and because I always worry every day that I've miscommunicated somehow, and my cats are starving to death in my house. And so I was texting her while you were talking, and I completely missed it.
I'm so glad because I was so horrified, and then I did it again 2 weeks ago on Way of the Leaf, and I was like, "Oh my god, I am a terrible person."
The good news about that is my memory is like a goldfish is. Like, so
God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad because I love you and I love your podcast, and I would hate to accidentally, ruin something for you unintentionally.
You're so fine.
Well, I adore you guys. I adore you guys.
Very sweet.
Arosa is already a fan apparently, and
Arosa, yeah.
But
we're recording. We're starting episode 7 tonight.
My notes are so long.
Yeah, these take us something
that I'm
like
actually concerned.
12 hours.
Are they copious notes or are they more than copious notes?
Here, I'll just give you a little preview. If you want, if this is interesting to anybody but me. But so this is why it's taken us so long.
That's one episode.
Oh.
Okay, so you guys, if you have not ever watched Alie and Gus or listened to Alie and Gus's podcasts, y'all have to do it because it's a different point of view than you're going to get on any other information take on the Wheel of Time in the books. The books, because Allie's a first time reader, and there are a bunch of first time reader podcasts out there, but the way they do it is it's just different. It hits different than some of the other first time reader podcasts. But when they do their reviews of the show, it's like insider knowledge. Like what would I have done differently? Or this is what really happens in a writer's room, or this is how this information would be delivered to the cast. It's so good. And it's not even just on the Wheel of Time. It's just an insider view on the entertainment industry in general. And it's a different take from an insider's point of view. So if you love fantasy and sci-fi of any genre, you should listen to it just because it just hits so good. Like I can't praise it enough. I love you guys.
You're very sweet. It is.
I'm done fangirling now.
You need to have a lot of time because we never shut up. And
Yeah, we
talk
never
for a
shut up.
very
Yeah,
long
some of their podcasts are very, very long.
The,
It could keep you
Rapunzel
entertained
knows
all day at work. Like if your workday is boring, put on Wheel Takes and they will be with you all day long.
We
It's
help make
fantastic.
jokes for 7 hours.
It's fantastic.
So you have an insider view though, because one or both of you are you WGA and you're SAG, or
I'm not yet SAG, but because I came from theater. But I'm
How dare
working
you be
towards
just
being in
theater
SAG,
kid.
and
I'm
she's-
one
yeah.
credit away from joining TAG. I need one more credit, and then I'm in the Animation Guild for animation writing.
So what exactly is a tag credit?
Is it-
Like a
Yeah.
screenwriting credit? Or
So I need one more episode of a certain length in order
of an animated show.
in an animated
Gotcha.
show in
'Cause
order
it's a
to
different
join the
union
union.
between animation and live
Yes,
action television.
it's weird because I was still writing for animation while SAG was striking, because TAG is part of IATSE, which is a different union, which was not striking. And the reason for those two things being different is a long story, but essentially at one point in time, fancy writers did not think the animation was the same thing. It's also complicated because I know it's the
whole thing.
there's a lot of feelings about it.
There's a lot we can get.
There's also a certain extent to which like some animation writing is done by the storyboard artists themselves, and so like the separation of like what is a storyboard artist versus what is an animation writer was very blurry and weird for a long time. It still is in some ways. I don't storyboard because I can't draw, but like that's very true. I cannot draw, but a lot of those artists are also the storytellers. So it's a weird medium to try to separate out too, like what is writing versus what is like creation. So they decided to mash them all together. Some people have feelings about that we could get into, but yeah. So I was still writing for animation during that, but I was also striking because I am hopefully going to be a part of the WGA someday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in solidarity with.
I mean, a lot of us were. We stopped covering. We were actually getting ready. We were gearing up to do Good Omens season 2, and then we canceled that. And I worked on scrubbing Amazon's name from every piece of art that we shared about the show, because technically the One was the hero project, and all we did was talk about the show because no one else could, essentially. Season 2 was going to be coming out, and the media wasn't going to do anything really other than commercial spots, because they can't interview anybody. They can't interview any actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a tough time.
It was fun for everybody.
It was really tough.
We all did.
We all did our best.
Dark times are over.
Anyway, but
hopefully.
but that's kind of our thing. Is we're in the industry, so sometimes we can go, oh, I know the answer to this thing, and sometimes we don't know, and then we can ask somebody who does.
I also used to be a TV and film executive for several years too, so I come at it sometimes from the executive perspective too, which is always interesting, the kind of like dichotomy of the arts and the industry and why certain decisions get made. So that's another piece of knowledge that I bring to the table too.
It was 100% necessary. We are 100% pro union here, so all the unions,
1000%.
And I would love, and on a tangent, I would love, and if you've covered this on something and I've missed it, I would love to get y'all's takes on like how this has impacted, because I'm a Twitch streamer, like video game industry, voice acting in the video game industry, action capture. Like someday I would love for you guys to do a podcast on that, and I would love to be like a guest on that if you ever decided to do that.
I'm a little upset with SAG-AFTRA about they made a deal. I'm not a member of SAG or anything like that, but they made a deal very recently for voice actors.
I did hear about this. Yes.
Yeah, that they can use that video game
they can use their voices.
AI.
Yeah.
For video game voice acting instead of regular, and that's.
And I know that like video game voice actors are part of a different union. At least it's a different type of. It's part of SAG. It's like is it a subsect of SAG?
It's
so
a
like I guess
that they have with the contract that
is it AFTRA?
No, it's still SAG.
Okay.
And I promise we'll talk about the Wheel of Time at some point.
At some point. Sorry, this is like juicy, like you know.
Basically, SAG-AFTRA had a contract with the AMPTP. That's what was being struck. Their contract with the video game developers like EA and Activision and Blizzard and everybody else is a separate contract. So that contract was still in effect. That contract was not struck when the.
So that's why video games were still being produced and coming out. And
I could tell you, I will avoid games that have AI stuff like that in them.
Yeah. I mean, I will too, but I'd be interested to know how that impacts people who do both.
It's like to my understanding, essentially Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. To my understanding,
I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 since 2021, so I was early access in BG3. So yeah. Anyway, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
It's such a good game.
It's so good.
It's ruined my life because I can't stop playing it.
Oh yeah, no. I don't even know how many.
I had to delete it from my computer because I was playing it too much.
Hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ruined my life, but in the best way possible. So,
the story is so good, and my favorite part about it is how video game companies are like coming out, like big AAA companies are like, don't expect this from games.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. Well, you could if you gave a fuck. Excuse my language, but you could if you didn't care about your bottom line, right? Like, seriously. And I knew it was going to be good. Besides playing it in early access, I knew it was going to be good because of Divinity and those Larian Studios. They're just top tier studios. They're just amazing. And I mean, but okay, we can talk about video games later. Anyway,
later. So I want to refresh.
Razor's one of my Twitch subscribers, and I put it on my Discord for people to come over tonight to like. Yay. I'm not going to be streaming video games tonight, but come say hi. And that's Razor. And by the way, Razor has watched the show.
Yay.
And is currently reading, and I believe Razor is either on The Great Hunt or Dragon Reborn right now. So
this is going to be
welcome.
Yes. So Razor, this will be pertinent to you. So I'm going to switch my spoiler brand back over. So we're only going to be spoilers for books 1, 2, and 3. So if you're not up to book 3, I'm sorry. You're more than welcome to say. He's so close to the end of The Great Hunt. All right, so
close. Okay,
we are spoilers for book 1 through 3. We could be a little bit lenient on 3 while we watch the episode, but 2 is like the season 2 is book 2. So like you already, if you've seen season 2, you already know what happened.
Right. I love you, Razor. Thanks for coming, my friend.
And then at the end of the episode, we're going to switch to a full spoiler, and we'll go over we're going to switch to books 1 through 10, which is what Alie has read because she is a first time.
I do think the prologue of Knife of Dreams might be relevant because of one thing that happens.
Yeah, I was going to leave it up to you guys to how much of Knife of Dreams you want to talk about.
Okay. So shall I wait on like the pertinent things that have happened till we get to that point?
Yeah. I don't want to split just in case Razor and like other people want to stick around. We'll stick books 1 through 3 for now. And then we'll go to the full spoiler up to wherever Knife of Dreams you would like to go to when we're done with the finale of The Wheel of Time, season 2.
Razor, I am familiar with what it's like for me to go into a chat and instill fear in everyone that is involved. So I did that in Dusty Wheel recently. I came into like a chat and I was like, "Can I be here?" And everyone's like, "Leave!"
Get out of here now.
Like, Alie, get out. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gone. And Matt even addressed it. He was like, Alie, I don't think you should be here.
Yeah, so, and that's a good point. So book 3, season 3, he's said is going to encompass a lot of aspects of the story plot from book 3, but be the actual story arc of book 4. So
present and 4, right.
That makes sense.
Which makes sense.
If you're going to be follow along on Twitch, you could just join the watch party and watch that way. If you're going to watch on your own and like separately, I'll have this little handy dandy timer going. I'll line it up with the Twitch stream once it starts, and you guys can.
Thom, real quick, Dragonmount. Thom for Twitch.
Dragonmount.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the watch party on Twitch. So that's gonna be the easiest way for me to do it. Oh my god, and I have to subscribe to you because you guys are affiliate now. So you just have a new subscriber on Twitch.
Thank you.
So someone has Dragonmount.
Okay, hold on. Sorry.
No, you're good. Someone has at Dragonmount on Twitch, and they haven't been active in like 13 years. And we can't.
I mean, feel free if anybody's on Twitch, you can just click Twitch TV /Beth Doman, all one word. And if you have a Prime membership and you haven't used it yet,
you could split between Beth and Dragonmount. I'm just joking. Beth is the one that streams on Twitch the majority of the time. She's on
4 nights.
You're like a machine. You're on there like 4
nights a week. Yeah. It's a lot. But the watch party on Twitch just makes it easier to watch.
Yeah, that's why I was tempted just to do Amazon shows just for the watch party feature. But I don't want to just do Amazon shows, to be honest. All right,
fair.
I'm gonna press play on the episode, and then I'll line up the timer once it actually starts.
May I ask one question before we start?
Yeah. What do you got?
You just did.
That was it.
Okay. I'm done.
I'm kidding.
I can't work like this. Okay. So in terms of I recently, because we do live reactions now on YouTube, I had someone comment that we talk too much during our live reactions, which doesn't make sense. But but I'm like, how much talking?
All the talking.
Okay.
All of it.
I just don't want you to be like, oh my God, we're never having her back. Chatty Cathy over there. Okay, great. All right. So
we love Chatty Cathys. We love them.
Oh my God.
And Razor just followed you on.
Yay! More followers. I just had a vivid memory of that scene from Sixth Sense where he's like stuttering Stanley because of Chatty Cathy. I don't know why.
I just watched that with my mom because she had never seen it before, and I needed to see her see it. She didn't know the twist either. So I was like, we have to sit and we have to watch it.
That's fantastic.
When I hear Chatting Cathy, I think of Daria from MTV.
I love Daria.
Such a great
Are you a person who watches people watch things? Like when you really want them to see it? Yeah, me too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
why I love the first time reader things, because I really like every time I would like introduce someone to the Wheel of Time, I would be like, feel free to message me. I don't care what time it is. Whenever you're reading, if you get excited about something, just shoot me a message. Be like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Like, I want to know how you feel about these.
I totally get it. Do you know what our plan is for potentially for the last book? And then we will go. Then we will start. I'm sorry. I know. I could sense my husband being like, we're here to be professional.
It's fine.
So I could feel him radiating next to me.
We're among friends here.
Like, oh my God.
Conversation among friends.
So our plan for the last book potentially is to do like a charity, one of those charity 12-hour live streams where everybody watches me listen to the last battle.
But it's 9 hours long.
I know, but it's like a 12-hour stream, right? And so then,
true. Okay, I'm here for it. I'm so fucking here for it.
Pop in if you want to. You are very much welcome. Pop in, do like wellness checks on me throughout the day.
Have you been drinking water?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can't even tell you how amazing that would be, because you're going to be listening to the audiobook, right?
Yes. That's the plan.
Because that's how I ingest all of my media. I only listen to audiobooks, and it hits so freaking hard. I will be there for the entire stream if you decide to do that.
I'm concerned I'm going to cry.
You're going to cry.
You'll cry. You'll cry, and you'll laugh, and you'll rage, and you'll scream. But oh my, please do it. Please do it.
Yeah, I think
it's cemented in stone. You have spoken it into the universe.
It's on the internet now.
Because it'll be like that culmination of like what will probably be 6 years of effort. So
I feel
like we have to go out with a bang, right?
I'm totally in.
I'm here for it. Like Alie, if you guys don't do it now, we're gonna be disappointed.
Now we're canceled.
Well, it's been announced now. I mean, you said it on Dragonmount. You said it on the slopes of Dragonmount.
Everybody mark your calendars.
I get teary-eyed just thinking about watching your reaction because it's such an emotional event. It really is. It's the culmination of greatness. I can't even put it into words. I mean, I've listened to the books probably like, I don't know. I've read the first half of the series at least 20 plus times and the last half a dozen times at least. And to hear it read to you, it hits different. Like reading it is fine, but the narration that Kate Redding and Michael Kramer do, it's beautiful. And you have to, it's in the universe now. So, season finale of season 2.
Yeah. I don't remember which Jordan Con it was, but it was the one before A Memory of Light came out. So whatever April before Memory of Light.
2011 or 2012?
Sure.
Sure.
Harriet read the prologue of A Memory of Light.
Nope. Can't do it. Nope.
So
I would have to leave.
Have you ever heard her voice?
It's beautiful.
Yes. There was some video of like a BTS video of the show. Where
the hammer next to a hammer,
showed
which
up.
we won't talk about.
All right, that's the last thing I'll say. I promise. I gotta stop track.
Sometime
I
later
feel
that
him next to me, being
century.
like, "We're never getting invited back."
No. Tangents are a theme here.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, like we have accidentally gone on until like 1 o'clock in the morning by accident. Like there have been times where it's like, holy shit, it's 12 o'clock.
We gotta go.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't have, it's not like Crystal is a teacher, so, and you got little ones, but like, I don't care. I'll stay up all night.
And you know, I question my life decisions all the time. So
I'm pressing play on the watch party. So
Perfect.
it should prompt you if you're already on our Twitch channel to like, if you want to join.
Damn, I wish I grabbed snack. Anyway.
If it does not,
Snake.
refresh the page. And it should prompt you then. And then we'll be all at the same point in the show.
Thom, is that where we should be?
The previously on.
Yes, previously on. If you're following along, we will not be skipping anything because we can't.
Can we just talk about Semirog cosplay
about everything
here? Like, hang on. Lanfear and Semirog cosplay is everything.
I cannot wait to see people's Semirog cosplay. Like, I cannot wait.
Why Semirog?
Because Semirog's kind of a dominatrix kind of figure, and so
Gideon is the one who shows
because she gets pleasure from pain. Semirog does, so or inflicting pain. So I call that outfit she's wearing when Rand's on the wheel of pleasure pain. That's what I call that wheel.
Oh yeah.
That it's Lanfear is cosplaying Semirog. That's like my inside.
Oh, I like that headcanon.
Yeah, right? Because she always like Semirog in the books. Semirog says that or Lanfear says she wears white because Semirog always wears black. Or is it?
Oh yeah.
Not only is it black, but it is totally like I am in control and I am your master black. Like,
yeah.
And I like to call that her goth Cher look, but that's just me.
Goth Cher works as well.
3,000 years ago. All right. There's a lot to unpack in this thing. So, in the books, even up to book 3, we know that the seals in the Dark One prison are nothing like this. So it's it's not like I'm upset about that or anything. I'm just so curious as to how they function and what they're going to be doing with them. Like, which is so exciting for me because I've been reading Wheel of Time for 25 years and like I get to be surprised and excited about things again, which is really cool. Like,
do you know what this reminds me of? This scene right here? Superman 2.
Oh yeah, when they put
Zod
them in the mirror.
They get put in the mirror prison. That's what this totally reminded me of. It was like such 80s vibes in a weird way. Not to minimalize the acting or anything, but I mean Zod and I can't remember the female's name her real name was Sarah something, but she was amazing.
The only thing I remember from like vividly from Superman 2 is when Superman rips the emblem off his chest and it turns into a big cellophane S that he throws at one of them.
Right.
That's the power that Superman
Sarah
has.
Duncan was her name. And I believe that's her name. I'm about to Google it because
the apparently you need to re-sign into Amazon occasionally when you watch Twitch.
Tell me to log in again.
It did that to me last time when I was hosting the watch party, so that's fun. So
the week you abandoned me, it wanted me to sign back in. That's why I could never get back in it.
I am happy that we're getting the opening theme. I really do like the opening theme a lot.
I do too. I was so happy to see this finally.
Yep.
It's like the threads with the being spun, so it's making a tapestry. So it's very much like the One Power, and I love it.
Yeah, I love this.
Did anyone else get Luce Theron, Ishamael, like maybe were a couple vibes from them? Like
I did not.
I get a little bit.
I got a lot of vibes from Ishamael because when he and Lanfear were lying in bed together, that was also charged to me.
Oh yeah.
But he was also stroking Rand in a very charged way also.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of like bisexual king. Hi.
I didn't get bi vibes, but I got very intimate cohorts vibes, like super close friends. Like
might just be wishful thinking on my part.
I'm just not. I'm just
a good-looking man.
Not the most physically affectionate friend, maybe, because I'm not a big face stroker. You know,
Ishamael is.
Ishamael might be. You know, different cultures have different feelings. Some people kiss on the mouth. That's not my vibe.
I mean, and for the record, Ferris could stroke my hair or my head any day. I wouldn't be sad at that. I mean, as a middle-aged woman and he's a middle-aged man, I would be totally okay with that. Like,
as the Gridwell Cup is coming up, I'm just like so prepared for like Dane Bornhold to do shockingly well, even though
I can't even talk about Dane Bornhold because
speaking of,
why can't you talk about him? Is it because
hello,
Dane is coming?
I mean, like what Jay Duffy as Dane?
Yeah.
When the
friends beware.
I have to
at Jordan Con, and he was speaking in that delectably lovely Irish accent. I just about lost my shit when I was sitting in the audience at Jordan Con.
I got those clips in this one.
And relax.
Relax. And I know I wasn't here for the week when Emin Valda was like, they didn't give him any like spoilers that he was going to be in this season at all. But when I saw him, was it episode 5 or 6?
Yeah.
When I saw him, I just about lost my shit because
when I heard when you hear his voice,
he is so
before he walks on camera,
freaking amazing as Emin Valda.
He's in Love Actually. He's the friend in Love Actually.
It never doesn't.
Oh my God.
Whenever I see him,
it just makes me laugh every time. I'm like, what range?
What a pivot!
What range?
Yeah.
I mean, and fell in love with him too. Like all over. Like he was great in Love Actually, and I've only seen it like twice, but he's one of those villains like immediately that is so good. I was afraid of him and I hated him. Like what's her face from the series that shall not be mentioned? Dolores Umbridge with the pink. I forgot the actress's name.
Imelda Staunton.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's
Rafi Paffatoffer. Can we talk? Can we just freaking talk about freaking cheekbones for days right here? Like seriously,
that's the way to do it.
Like
unbelievable.
She's so good.
Why is everybody so freaking beautiful in this show?
It's
like
Hollywood.
Every single person is.
This episode had me shaken yet also smug. And I'll get to the point where I was saying it was hard because all season, right? I could see it like bookend things narratively, and all season there were people on Twitter being like, "Why did they do this?" I knew the answer, and I had to be quiet because of the strike. And I just want everyone to know that I personally suffered so much.
Well, we appreciate your suffering.
I can explain.
And your commitment to the cause.
Maxwell, I also thought she was going to say shaken, but also stirred. So, yeah.
I was shaken and stirred. I was like, I have the media literacy. I can provide. And then it was like, no, I can't though until the strike is over. So I
Is
just
that
had to see
that's the
people.
name of that weave, by the way? It's not Balefire. It's not
Yeet.
Mist of Mirrors. It's Yeet.
I love that they put her in an outfit that feels vaguely reminiscent of like a knight in armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just feels very armor to me. Like when you see the bottom part,
all
it feels
of
very armor.
Many of the dresses that the
I can't even.
Wear.
Natasha O'Keefe is my girl crush, 100%.
There we go with that stroking of it. Oh, and then we have the wind of intrusive thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Did they travel or did they use the true power?
Oh yeah, that one. I think that one.
I think
one?
the true power.
True power.
But we're gonna keep quiet on that a little bit.
Okay.
But I think true power.
T'other thing. From later.
And if you're not watching with the subtitles on, I fully suggest having the subtitles on.
Yeah. I love that Perrin is trying on all of these different, like a lot of the kids this season have been trying on different things. Like Rand has been trying on different mentors, and Perrin has been trying on different philosophies toward violence. And I really love what they're doing with that.
Oh,
he doesn't know where.
Haven't watched Hopper's death. I covered my eyes.
Well,
I still haven't seen it. I've only watched this episode once so far because I haven't done my 8 deep dive.
Same. I have only watched it one time, and it was when I filmed my reaction video to it. So
it's really good. It's also
Hopper should have stayed there.
Yeah.
It's one of and honestly, okay. So are we allowed to be critical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of my that thing with only 3 Aiel was one of the things that I was critical about, because I just can't. I know that they're merging some aspects of 2 and 3 together in this point, but I just can't imagine that there would only be 3 Aiel who made it all the way to Falma. That was my one criticism. Like one criticism I have of this episode. I had a few criticisms, but only 3 Aiel being present was one of them.
I think that they're just broken up into smaller parties exploring. Because they do reference a larger party.
Yeah.
once.
I think that there are more out and about looking, but if you divide and conquer, you'll cover more land.
Sure. And there were smaller parties. I mean, like when we first met, I can't remember his name, when Matt and Perrin first came across them, and and Varen was with them, and they drew the stuff in the sand and stuff like that.
And there was only one when they attacked the Gaul and put him in the cage. So.
Well, I get it. Well, there was more than one because they were all killed except Gaul.
I think it was
one other or 2 others, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
I guess. Yeah.
And I mean, they have one that they killed at Atuan's mill. They had one in that page. Yes. So I think that implies that there are a couple parties are going around trying to find.
I want Lanfear's earpiece, snake earpiece necklace thing right now.
The people that have criticisms for the show, that aren't like toxic, gross people, always say that the acting is amazing, the costuming is amazing, the set design is amazing. I just don't like, story choices or whatever. The most notable one that I always mention is Thom from Twatcast, not just because his name is also Thom, but because
this part doesn't make sense to me either.
I think this is genius.
I love this. What don't you like?
I don't like the little kids. I guess maybe it's the little kids. Like, what happened to the little kids?
Oh,
like,
it's so. Is
it innocence bringing on disaster? Is that what it's supposed to represent?
Yeah.
Or
if you think of the White Cloaks as like the Knights Templar,
are they like the altar boys of the Catholic
Vatican?
Church?
They're kind of like altar boys, but they're squires. You would bring young boys.
Yeah,
like that
I guess. Yeah. Again, I've only seen this one time, so
I think it's
my
also
stuff's gonna be like.
No, you're good. I think it's also like, oh well, they're not going to shoot down children walking towards them.
Yeah, that's true.
Kids out there. Was my read on it.
Well, and we've seen the corruption of youth with the White Cloaks before, with the little boy that served him in Talda. We've also been seeing a lot of like the corruption of youth. Like in episode 7, they have the little kids like being bigoted toward Loyal. And I think part of that is,
Yeah.
if you think about this wheel metaphor, when we're corrupting the youth, it's perpetuating and keeping the wheel going.
Fair.
And the like sameness of like, okay, you know, we always go like children are our future, but if we are, you know, brainwashing them just as much as the adults, I mean, then that just is going to continue as a cycle.
100%.
I get goosebumps with this part. I get because episode 6 hit me so hard. It was the dichotomy between Rena and Nynaeve and Egwene. When Egwene is like, "I'm going to kill you," she just said it as a matter of fact. She was like, "I'm going to kill you." And the actor who plays Rena, and I know in real life,
I love
it's they him. So
Celia,
I don't remember the actor's name, but
Celia
they
Mendes
did such an amazing job. Like a character you love to hate.
Yeah.
Because they wanted acceptance. They wanted Egwene to accept them. Like it was so heartfelt, like the joy on their face before they realized that Egwene was going to reject them. Oh yeah.
I got it as more of like, I didn't think she doesn't think of Egwene as a person.
No, not as a person, but they wanted to have like that power of the Damane, who the obedient Damane, right?
Loyalty, like
we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, we gotta talk
the
about
hair, the braid.
Oh, yes. I gasped.
And then her stepping on it.
Oh, me too, because it's so poignant too. Because the braid for Egwene has been a huge point of her plot arc from season 1. You know, the opening of the show, the very first scene of the show was her getting her braid.
Yeah, they're with you. Even if you're alone, we are with you.
Yeah,
because if you remember when she went to the White Tower, she forsook her braid, right?
She stopped braiding her hair. And it's been her travel, so she willingly took out her braid. Yep. And then when she got picked up by the Seanchan at first, they forcefully put a braid in her
braids in her hair. Yeah.
And then in the last episode at the end, she was braiding her hair when she told Rena,
but in the Two Rivers style as opposed to the Seanchan style. And I think the tracking of that braid is super important because it's 100%. A symbol of comfort and home for Egwene. And so the fact that they cut it off and removed that, I mean, it's much like the tree. The tree was providing Egwene comfort, so they destroyed it.
Yep.
So Rena forced her to destroy it. Rena doesn't see, like you said, Beth, Rena doesn't see Egwene as a person. She sees her as a means to an end. She sees, she has a parasitic relationship with Egwene. Egwene's power directly impacts her ability to rise. But every time, you know, she's threatening Egwene, it's like, don't make me look bad.
Yeah.
It's but it's also a form of status and completion, right? Like if you have a subservient Damane, then you are complete.
Well, even more than powerful one. Push it even further. Yeah, the most powerful one. Yeah. And when we think about like what Egwene is going through, it's about the fact that like she wanted so much at the White Tower to be recognized as special and was envious of Nynaeve. Oh, by the way, let's clock Elaine's reaction to all of this, and we'll talk about my theory about what they're doing with Elaine later. But like, look how calm and like kind of dissociating she is. I have a whole theory about it. But okay, so yeah, it's her entire journey in the White Tower was like, I keep getting kind of like brushed aside because of Nynaeve. And then once she's with the Seanchan, she gets all of the recognition that she wanted, but in the worst way possible.
In the worst way. Yeah. Yep. That makes perfect sense.
And then
this is Sita, right?
I think it's
Sita.
Did they give her a name in the show?
No, let's check the X-ray, can we?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can check it on the.
I'll check later. Oh,
yeah.
But whatchamacall, Egwene, I think, is going to go through an interesting plot in the next, journey in the next season, seeing as how she is going to be a little like. Cutting off her braid is like she's unbridled. She's a little chaotic, like especially when she goes crazy, like a little bit up on the top of the tower, kills Rena. Like that is going to leave a scar on her, and that she's going to have to deal with as she goes through the next. I think something to do with the Alie and meeting the Alie, you know, how that kind of centers her for other reasons in the book. I think it's going to center her on her trauma that she's experienced with the Seanchan, and then, you know, everything else.
So
Matt.
real quick, real quick, that's that really quick scene that just happened with Rand and Egwene. I love how they put that in there because it was so important in the books. It's delivered in a different way, but in the book, Rand is adamant that he saw Egwene. He's absolutely adamant, and he would not back down from that. And so the fact that they put that in, and he saw her, and he knows he saw her, I love that, and that just gives him even more resolve to do what he's going to do, right?
And his face when he sees her,
yeah,
he's so goals. Anyway,
right. And Donald Finn,
yes, I want that energy
Matt,
from a man when I'm being wronged.
Absolutely, bring it. But Donald Finn right here is Matt.
Johan is Padan Fain, though.
Well, okay, so this is
brilliant.
my thing about Padan Fain. I wish we had more of him in season 2. I really wish we had more of him because I hate seeing him just as Ishi's lackey. That's the vibe I get from him.
So my theory on that is that Padan Fain is going to turn into the more crazy version of Padan Fain that we know.
Now that Ishi's gone.
Like I feel like he's more of a follower of Ishamael than he is of the Shadow.
So now he's just going to be a follower of chaos. He's just going to unleash chaos. And I mean, it fits perfectly with, you know, the white cloaks being here. It fits perfectly moving into, not going to get spoiler heavy, but it sets up a great storyline for season 3.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense.
I love all of the kind of parallels of Matt and the dagger to addiction too. I think it's really good. And like this thing being pushed on him. It also feels like Leandrin and Lanfear have something going. Something's being kind of set up for that because I felt like the order that she had in episode 7 to have Barthanes kill Moraine did not come from Ishamael because he said that a living Aes Sedai is a broken Aes Sedai is more useful than a dead one. I feel like that order came from Lanfear.
Yeah, and we know Lanfear has been trying to separate them.
Yeah. Because when she came and killed Leandrin's son, she was saying, like, why are you working for him? You hate men. Yeah. You could work for someone more interesting. And I think, and Lanfear is wanted to kill Moraine, whereas the Ishamael said, leave her alone. She's useful to us broken. So
there's some kind of like off-book relationship there.
Something's forming between those two, I think.
I think I remember that
would be
interview
interesting.
Too.
And you know what? I think the other thing that is that makes sense is because you know it's pretty clear they're consolidating episodes.
This was one of the things really fast. This is one of the things I was smug about. Is that when she said we're not equals in that one episode? I was like, come on, we're 100%. Bookending, we're framing. We've got
I knew she was gonna say that.
No way she means that. And I was like, episode 8, we're gonna get because you're better than me. I was like $500. Everyone knows me, $500. Anyway. So,
okay, this right here was one of my favorite scenes. This moment right here, I love the fact that we're seeing intimacy that is not sexual.
Between men and women.
Love this so much because
between men and women and between just non-toxic, toxically masculine relationships between men and like the Emmons Fielders, like. Rand, Matt, and Perrin. I just love it so much. The intimacy between the two of them and the trust that they have in each other. Yeah. Even after, you know, the dissension that happened this season, I just like this was beautifully done. This part was lovely. They needed to show what Moiraine and Lan feel through their bond when we get their point of views without being able to do that. So they did it through Lan and Moiraine talking to each other in a more comfortable way. I'm getting teary-eyed
watching this right now. Oh my God.
So good. Like when they joke with each other in the tub and when Lan is more open with his feelings in front of Moiraine when they're alone and things like that are the ways that they show how much they care about each other without having to be in their heads.
I mean, like, and let's just be honest. Middle-aged eye candy is a thing, right? For boys and girls. There's like, no matter what your pick is, you've got Rosamund Pike and you've got Daniel Henney. It's like you can't go wrong.
The scene in either episode 1 or 2 when he's bringing her dinner and he fixes the fork and the like napkin next to the plate is just like a simple little thing.
I love it.
I
love it.
I also feel like you see with Lan and Moiraine, like when they do the initial battle together in the Battle of Beltane. They're like so in sync. They have this like musicality to their body language that you see has completely evaporated during that one fight with the oh my god, what are they called? The face, the eyeless,
the fades,
the fades.
Mirror draw.
That faded from my memory. But so like we see that vibe between them has kind of vanished. That thing that we also
Lan looked almost unskilled during that part. Like it was so awkward.
Yeah, and you see him fighting with a sword, and you could see that he's just like out of his element in some way before the fade comes. He's got this like little sword fighting scene where he looks devastated. And then so now we just get that like reconnection, like that coming together. It's just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous bookend to that whole issue.
One of my felt friends is here.
Hey,
hello, Dan. Hi, brother Dan.
So Max doesn't think that is of the opinion that he was just unmasking the Bond. I honestly think that she did release his Bond, like she released it because she knew when she went to the Eye of the World, she pretty much was like, I'm gonna die, so I don't want him to have to deal with that.
Him the whole thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And because it makes so much more sense than it just being masked, because he would still have his warder powers if it was just masked and she was just shielded.
It's so fun how during this fight, I don't know who to root for.
Okay, so wait a minute. I just have to say two things here. I have to bring up two things here. Okay, number one, Egwene sees white cloaks and she sees red, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And Egwene is casting without using her hands. Yeah. She is casting without
powerful
the way that the theatrics that the Aes Sedai use to cast. But and Rena called her good girl. Like,
there we go.
Part of the whole. This is the best. This is the best. I don't care.
Speaking of casting without using your hands.
Yeah. This is our Indiana Jones scene. I love it.
Oh, I laughed so hard.
It's so amazing. It's so great.
Is we're getting the power differentials this season, right? We see that like Moiraine and Swan get spanked by Lanfear, right? But we are still hearing like Rand is not there yet. But clearly he's somewhere, because we get this scene where it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Why would he fight him with a sword when he's literally a magic nuke?
And
like,
he
really doesn't even know what he did.
Yeah.
The look of incredulity on his face, on Yosha's face, is like, okay, I did that. I don't really know what I did, but I'm moving on now because I have people to save and a prophecy to fulfill.
And Egwene brings that out of him. Like his love for his friends is what brings that out of him. And I think it's really interesting because I'm like, I kind of wonder if like what they're doing with the Forsaken is setting them all up to have been in some way friends with Lews Therin.
Right.
And so I think the friendships that we're seeing here, and we keep hearing and getting the whole time, like who is a monster this season, and we're stronger together, even though that puts us at risk when we're together. And I feel like that's going to play an important role in things going forward.
Nomengarden actually, depending on how they do it, he would bleed to death really fast. He got the
Balaclava, I think.
Yeah.
There's so much blood coming out.
It's modeled after seppuku.
And that's also what happens in the books. In the books, he dies, and then the void, like everybody who works for him stabs himself.
Right. They all right. So this part right here, this scene right here, I feel was one of the missteps that they did in regard to Ingtar.
And we know they cut it. We know they filmed
it. Well,
it.
yes, they did. They did. And that's one more reason why I really hope that eventually they'll do like a director's cut or an uncut kind of thing. So we could, or we could at least get insider information to see what it was supposed to be. But I feel like
I plan on asking.
Did Ingtar a little 100%. Dirty here?
I 100% will be asking Ray the next time I talk.
Okay.
We were talking about this with the puppets last night. I think a big part of why
with the puppets.
Why
with the puppets. We love the puppets.
We love the puppets.
Talking about not Way of the Leaf, just puppets in general.
I was talking about
You guys were talking to puppets. Hey, no judgment here.
I think a big part of
behind me.
I think a big part of why that happened the way it was is because they had 2 episodes worth of Ingtar development and build up and story in season 1 that then got deleted basically because the actor left. And so they and I'm sure he was fantastic. I didn't watch it, but I'm sure he was excellent. He was excellent as Yokota. But you know, I think they found themselves in a position where they were like, "You're totally good." Where they were like, how do we get all of this story that we already dedicated like 15 minutes of screen time to? How do we pack that into this season when we have all this other stuff to do? And it seems as though what they ultimately tried didn't work because it didn't play well, and they made it.
I did make the decision to cut it.
I miss it, but you know,
I miss it too. Especially
do you realize? And do you remember when they said when they got the Horn of Valor, a lady from Kyrian helped us?
Yeah.
And then Bail Doman here says, "You're a long way from Kyrian, my lady." And again, it do be Bail Doman. And if you guys follow me on Twitch and you're watching and you wonder where Beth Doman came from, it do be because of this character right here. Bail Doman do be a character in the show, and
he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He's
so
awesome in the books, and I hope we see him again in future seasons.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of him. I love her ear stuff.
Me too.
Here.
I want it. I would
accessories in this.
The earring game has been on
top tier
this season.
Yeah.
We have earrings. I'm obsessed.
And Suroth is wearing ones similar to the ones that Turok wore.
Yes, because she's a high lady.
Yeah, high blood, very high blood. Yeah.
I did not realize on my first watch they zoomed in on him.
Oh no, I totally
off.
did. And I was
so
like, what
funny.
because I'm like, they wouldn't put that shot in because zoom-ins are so annoying to set up on camera. It takes
See the
forever.
insider information
and
you
I was
get
like,
here,
there's
guys.
no way that they would focus on that without that being important. So then it
I didn't catch on to it either, Gus. I didn't either. I was totally gobsmacked.
Bugged me the whole episode. I was like, why would they do that? And then I was just like, I guess whatever. They just wanted to show that he was getting his hands dirty, and then they did the thing. But the other thing I was smug about was I've been saying this whole time that the perfect button for this show, for this season, was letting the rest of the Forsaken out. So I was like so excited. I was like, yes, because it sets perfectly up for season 3.
It's a great precedent.
The story turn season.
I've been hoping for a cold open of like Padden Fane and what he was doing in the background of like all of the major scenes where he was obviously present when you hear the whistle and stuff.
Yep.
I've been hoping for that cold open for a while, but I'm really hoping that the first cold open is like the Forsaken tea party.
You know what, Alie, watching this scene right here, the alluding it to or comparing it to addiction, it hits so hard after you said that. It's like I can't get away from it, but I'm gonna make the best use of it that I can.
It's always there.
It's always there. And look how Donald Finn.
His sense
of
his comedic timing,
I love him.
Is amazing.
Is just perfection. It's like
it really is. Barney Harris, who?
Hey, I like.
I mean,
too.
I wish Barney Harris the best of luck. I wish him the best of luck.
Too,
he did great as well. But I feel like in the long run, this rendition of Matt is the Matt that book lovers are going to appreciate.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I really hope he gets his drinking buddy. That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
Yes. Let's go. Same.
The lock having like the.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in knowing why the Shadow Logoth dagger is a lightsaber too, but I guess we'll find out.
We'll give time.
It's evil. Weird. The answer is evil.
Look at his look of smugness on his face.
Like, I don't have to touch it. He's great. He is the version of Matt that that I feel like Barney wasn't pulling off in the first season. Like the first season, Barney was a great dagger Matt. Like he was,
and this is where he realizes what the dagger can really do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That it's so lethal.
Like you said, he's got more of the comedic timing, and like he's more Matt's whole character. I feel.
And without giving spoilers away, I love the improvisation that he has made with the staff to make it more of a kind of spear-like.
I think they're doing a really good job about showcasing like the choices that are being made by our lead characters are resulting in like the lives of innocents being taken.
Yeah. Well, and also the Sean don't mind, carpet bombing the city because it's being invaded.
Yeah, that the first casual. I have a teacher who had this poster in a classroom that I always think about. Where it's like the first casualty of war is innocence, and I think they're really beautiful. Into that.
There's a great line from one of my favorite shows, The West Wing, which I talk about all the time. A general, they're talking about war crimes and stuff, and he says a 4-star general says all wars are crimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's real. And I feel like, unfortunately, to save the world, there are going to be really awful decisions that have to be made that result in like lives being taken, lives being ruined. And I think we're starting to really grapple with what that means.
Yeah, and that's a theme throughout all of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. I think we're really starting to see it this season in a real way, where like Rand asks Lanfear to come. Well, the first thing she does is blow up the Foregate, where there's just a bunch of defenseless people. So his one decision that he had to make in that moment
could have killed hundreds of people.
Probably could have killed people that he knew.
Well, it's funny because
in the Foregate,
shortly before he does that, he has the whole thing with Lan. And one of the bigger takeaways I have from his conversation with Lan is Lan says, you have to save everyone, not just your friends. And he's like, okay, well, I guess if I have to sacrifice people in Kyrian to save everybody else, maybe I have to make that trade. Maybe I have to make this trade. Maybe I have to make that trade.
I think that's going to be a theme of him making himself harder.
Yes.
Yes. But then when we think about that, and we think about this repeated theme of like, who is the monster, right?
GG Seta.
Having to make these monstrous decisions is going to, impact who is in the right here.
Yeah.
Who is someone we need to root for?
Yeah, the line is blurred, and that's what I love about. I think the show has done a very good job with that, specifically with the forces of the shadow. I mean, like, it's hard. They've made it so that there's no redeeming qualities for the Seanchan so far. Like, there's not a single thing that's redeeming about them yet. But like even the White Cloaks, there's a bit of redeemingness to them.
Because they're fighting against the tyranny of the Seanchan. And they're misguided though they are, they're still trying. Oh, look, there's Megan.
Yeah, they showed them saving innocents in the streets, and even Egwene was like, "Oh, now she's like, I don't even know if I want to fight them. Like, I don't know if I want to attack them."
Right,
heartbreaking.
Because Egwene has her humanity, right? Like
the worst organization just did a good thing.
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
Okay, so I have very mixed emotions about this next part.
I love it.
I mean, I do. I have mixed emotions about it. It is a great scene, but I wish that it's so unknown now if the Seanchan know that Suldam can channel.
Yeah.
So this was like an important part, but I guess if they're getting rid of a certain character who we haven't seen yet, who I hope they don't get rid of, and if they don't get rid of her, I really hope Cara Gee plays her, because Cara Gee as a Aegean would be
Matt doing that cartoon run. I love.
Yeah.
And he is me in a crisis.
Yeah.
There's Hot Seema. Oh my God, Hot Seema. Like, I can't even stand it. They're all so good looking.
I love
the chemistry that he instantly had with Yosha, and now the chemistry.
Yes, and with Perrin, 100%.
Yeah, so good.
And let's fucking go, Avienda.
Got him.
Yeah. Oh, this scene must have been a freaking nightmare to film. It's so close. Crazy. Everyone's so close with such big swingy things. That's a nightmare.
Oh, she's doing it again with the arm. I love the way she contorts herself when they're doing this is so, it's visceral. I could feel it.
Yeah. It's uncomfy.
I don't even know how this would work. Like, I don't even know the logistics behind this. You know what I mean? Like, both of them collared each other, like, and both of them are wearing each other's bracer. Like, it's.
I think it's the person who's stronger with the one power.
The stronger will.
The stronger will.
This makes me so happy. Fuck you.
I mean,
Anna.
it doesn't make me unhappy. It just makes me question future storylines.
I'm sure they factored that into the
I'm
equation.
sure they have. I'm sure they have.
It's going to this is going to play a huge role in Egwene's character development.
Yep.
This kill here, because she's not like you. Immediately afterwards, she is not okay with it, and she's not going to be okay with it.
No,
this is going to be one of the things that she needs to put down before she can fully realize herself. Like Perrins is going to be coming to the realization.
I also like how they're saying that the Suldam are weak, that they can't be sensed, as opposed to learning to channel and born with the spark.
Yeah. Well, that's what Egwene thinks anyway. We'll see.
That's what she thinks. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I will.
Unreliable narrator.
I have the database for the interviews, and I'll look through that at the end. I'll make a note.
I mean, Egwene commits murder here. I mean, she murders somebody.
Yeah. But
that's groundbreaking for her.
Who is the monster, right? Is this a monstrous thing to do? It depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
They're doing such a great job with that. And
look at her face. Look at her face.
And I think it's appropriate for the Wheel of Time, like for it to be so blurry and for you to not really know who the monster is because of how deep the Wheel of Time is in general.
I mean, and she's willing to die for it, though. Egwene was willing to die there.
Yeah, she was
willing.
I don't know if it was a willingness to die, but to have just lost control in that moment, to not even understand what she was doing. You know what I mean? Like she's so broken from having been essentially a slave and treated like an animal.
Yeah.
That she isn't fully comprehending what she's doing right now.
She is right now. She's in full control right now.
No, you'll see when she realizes what she's doing. It'll be in about a second here. You'll see her face. She's gonna get upset. It's starting. You can see her mouth is downturned. She's gonna fall down, and it hits her. What she just did. You could see it in her eyes. She's about to.
Or is it that she's free?
No,
that's the lengths that she had to go to be free.
I think it
doesn't look too relieved.
No, that does not look like relief to me.
I think it's both. It's
tortured relief.
It could be both. It absolutely could be.
And here's Rand not knowing if she's
emotion, right?
Hey, bud.
It's both. And there he is.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, sexy.
I cannot wait to see
this
fight Alie.
The bucklers, like the use of the little buckler with the spear and the arrows. I mean, come on.
I love these women. Oh my god.
What the hell?
French aristocracy, it reminds me of the Three Musketeers, because they use bucklers when they use
he's got shit hair, but he's still alive.
Sorry, just such a funny line.
This part annoys me a little bit. Not this part, but when he opens the horns box.
I was very underwhelmed when I saw what the horn looked like. I'm not gonna lie. I was very underwhelmed.
The vase of
yeah, I was expecting it to be like a coronet. Like something.
It should at least look like a musical instrument.
Yeah, like they would play taps with or something.
It should look like that when you blow into it, it would produce a sound.
Yeah.
Well, but I think the intention from what I've heard from the props people were, they were like, this is basically a horn from a different time, and a different world, and a different, like, it's not going to look like a horn we know. Even if it makes sound, it's magic sound.
Sure.
But I get it.
Travels the same way no matter what plane of existence you're on. I guess.
not if it's made with magic.
Yeah, not if it's made of magic. Right.
But I get it.
Well, one rep Maxwell on Twitch loves the way that the horn looks.
Blamp.
All right.
Co-eternal with the wheel.
Ow. Yeah, we're getting all these power differentials, which I love, because we just saw Rand body someone, and then to have the Forsaken body them.
I mean, and can we also just talk about how together she still looks? Like, he still looks like he's on his way to a business meeting. I mean,
always.
What's the little girl Damani's name?
Miri, I think.
Miri, yeah, Miri's back. Front and center.
Front and center.
Well, again, it's that like I mean that ship blows up, right? And it's like she's a child. That's again.
I think
she's like 14
again.
or 15, right?
Well,
she's not.
She looks 14
young.
or 15.
She's like
right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
She could be 400, right? She
Yeah.
could be Olivia, basically. She could be that.
I was hoping she was Olivia.
I hope she is. I know we can't talk about that, but
yeah, I was hoping. Spoiler alert, there's someone named Olivia in the Wheel of Time. There's 2,700 named characters in the Wheel of Time.
Right.
And it's not
and
spelled
Olivia
how you
just
think.
happens to be one of them.
Nothing is spelled like you think.
None of them are spelled how you would expect.
Except Rand.
That's the one.
I mean,
not
because
even
Matt's not even spelled the way you would expect. And
Elaine.
Nynaeve is Nineveh, apparently.
I always have to
Leandrin.
correct myself when I write Matt for real now with the 2 T's, because I always write 1 T.
I think it's
Hey, Petey, can I help you?
so smart that they write him defensively as opposed to offensively. Because right now, at his level of power, it's not believable that he would beat him.
Right.
But defensive maneuvers are just a much smarter thing to do against people who are better than you at something.
It's too technical. Attacking is too technical, where a defensive shield is much easier thing to produce.
Yeah, exactly. It's and you just you can tire them out.
It's not even a good color gold.
No, it's like a naughty grassy gold. I'm literally
on that one.
I'm about to cry now. This is the part
with the boxes. No one there, Perrin, Loyal, none of the other people that were standing there were like, "Hey, why are there black tendrils of horror
coming out of
kind of a lot going on?
Kind of in the middle.
They're a little busy.
2 rivers? Okay, you guys.
I would point it out. I'm sorry.
I might need to walk away and come back in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a rough couple scenes.
That's what we're gonna do today. That's what we're gonna do.
If you guys need tissue, get it now.
I will give people trigger warning for animal cruelty in a minute. It's not coming up yet, but it'll be there in a minute.
See, okay, and so another thing. When Nynaeve was wearing the Sul'dam bracelet, she was so self-assured, right? Her anger had taken control of her, but now that she's lost that,
completely broken,
her block is back, right? And I love this dichotomy between powerful Nynaeve, angry Nynaeve, and helpless Nynaeve. I love it. And it just goes to show, oh dear. It just goes to show that
the contrast between Egwene. I'm so sorry.
No, go for it.
Just the contrast between like Egwene's reluctance to kill Rhaena and like Aemon Valda's bloodlust is
it's amazing.
Striking.
Oh, it's this. Yeah, it's
striking
to
me. This watch.
I have to avert my eyes.
Sad,
I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I
understand. I fully understand.
I can't watch it.
The goodest girl.
I'm gonna stare at you guys.
Oh, there it is. There, it happened. It happened.
No.
There's one more scene.
2 seconds behind, so you wait a second.
There's one more scene still, and I think that's the last time we see the. Nope, there it is. That's the last one. Oh god!
It just breaks my heart. Like
it's this part right here.
Nope.
Oh my god.
It's still going.
Yes,
it's over.
Mm-hmm.
We're a few seconds behind you. I paused it by mistake.
Oh, okay. It just. Okay, Perrin's moving.
Now you're good.
Yeah, Perrin's moving out. God.
You go, Perrin.
Give that dog an Emmy.
Yeah, for
go
real.
murder the man.
Oh my god.
So good.
Oh. I mean, if you killed my dog, that's what I would do.
That's exactly what I would do.
I'm like, you know what? I'm on Perrin's side there, but it's going to be another
part right
complicated
here
feeling about death and about violence.
Desperation. This is straight from the book. Straight from the book. The desperation.
Noman Garden very nicely put some puppy pictures, a link to some puppy pictures.
My doggy's sleeping right back there.
I have a cat sleeping right here.
But also this.
I mean, so Matt in desperation sounding the horn is straight from the book, and I love it. I love it. Yeah. The slowing down of time.
Yeah, I love that we're slowing them in these moments of like crises. Like Nynaeve is having this moment of like her block, and Perrin is having this moment where, again, we're furthering his relationship with violence, and Egwene is having this moment where she just found out that Rand is alive and might be unable to save him again. Yeah. And then we have Matt processing whether or not he is worthy of the Horn of Valyria. Like, his like I'm worthy moment.
Oh God.
And then right after that, though, because we can't let that journey end there.
Oh no.
Stabs his friend. Boom. I just keep that journey going.
Was everyone
Guy Roberts is a friend of ours, and he played us so hard. When we saw him here, we started screaming.
Who's a friend of yours? Guy Roberts? Yes.
And we were just like, are you? We were like, yeah, Guy. Like,
I literally cried when I saw him. I cried when I saw him in the line. I was like,
so good. I
immediately sent him a message on Twitter and was like, "You're fucking Keitel Kane," and he's like, "I fucking know, dude."
We were like, I love it. It's so beautiful.
It is so hard. He was like, yeah, it was a real honor to be on the show. Like, we were like, oh, condolences. I'm so sorry. You're such a fan. And he was like, yeah, like such a great opportunity. Like,
I'm
played it on so thick. And I was like, you are kidding me.
Let's not just fucking stand here. Yeah, let's go. And then there's Birgitta right next to him, who doesn't say anything in this episode, but it's fucking Birgitta.
I'm hoping they expand on her.
Oh, they're gonna cast somebody else.
Oh, I love that scene. I'm sorry. I just love when he screams that so much.
Get him!
I'm fangirling so hard right now.
Yeah, so I really like how they're depicting the heroes fighting here, because like the way they do it in the books is basically just like nothing.
Yeah.
It like they don't show them fighting. It's just like this ethereal force that's pushing against the Seanchan front lines and not. I like this better.
It kind of reminds me of the Ghost Army. Yes.
In
this is why we're married.
Oh, Ghost Army from Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Oh,
okay, but see, and then we're seeing Perrin realize that like even a justified death has consequences, because everyone has someone who loves them.
Yeah.
Every life you take affects another life. And that's something I think that we always forget when we're like doing overall stuff, is like everything affects somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his yelling of two rivers at that point is such a threat. And like, so his
prophetic
to let go of Layla and that ring will lead directly to something I can't talk about yet.
Right.
When he took out that second sword.
Go, Uno. Let's go.
When he took out that second sword, I lost my mind.
That made me so excited.
Lost my mind.
I
was screaming. I was marching around the house screaming like, "He's
the only thing that I know they wouldn't really be able to convey this cinematically is I remember reading, when it talks about the mists forming and then they appeared and Rand saw them and he recognized them with their different names. Like Michael was Mikkel and Oscar was Oshin, and all of like those different timeless kind of like. I love that in the book, and I know they can't really process that cinematically, but I do miss that, if that makes sense. That narrative that we get. Yeah.
I always like when they explore weird stuff like that, like, Age of Legends stuff and before.
Right.
And I always like those little tidbits of information that they give us.
You know what I'm
looking for a picture that I have.
I love the development of their relationship.
Me too.
So much, because Nynaeve like calls her princess, right? Which is so not her title. So it's not a respect thing. She's being an asshole. Right. And then we start to see them like forming this bond where like Nynaeve starts to recognize them as equals. And up until now, like Nynaeve with the other kids does not see them as equals. She sees herself as kind of like above them and like the adults in the situation.
Right.
And like the only people that she really confides in are Lan and his two warder friends, Maxim and Ivan. And that is because she sees them as equals or superior to her.
Yeah. Right.
Versus now it's like she's had these moments where Elaine has been able to have her back in a way that like she's actually starting to let herself be vulnerable around Elaine in a way that she's never done with like an Egwene, because in her mind, Egwene's like a little sister.
There it
we knew
is.
it would happen.
There it is.
It's right after he has this moment of thinking he's worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna fuck
Oh
up.
wait, here's a little bit of a redeeming thing. Look at the unbridled joy on this face.
Yeah.
It's such a good picture.
So
It's such a good picture.
cute.
You could tell Nynaeve she either deeply doesn't respect you or likes you if she gives you a nickname, apparently in the show.
And Ishamael immediately throws that on Matt. It's such a simple illusion. How could you not see it?
Dumbass.
That's going to be something that bothers him, that like he had this moment of like kind of a completion of that arc, but now we've like given him some new information that's going to jar him into continuing on this arc of like, am I worthy? Am I a hero?
I think one of the things that
Yeah, girl.
let's go.
That's a great point, Morshadi. That's a great point.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way.
I don't think he is. No
No,
way
not
they're going to
yet.
be casting new people for reasons. This is sick too. I love this part.
Oh,
The score of this show
yes.
is so great too.
Oh,
It just goes to show
cookie.
how much strong emotion can influence your channeling ability, and also how much they forced Egwene, like her forcing to make her stronger faster. It's a great way to show that.
And Egwene is using her hands here. So she's
She
like,
is.
she's
She
like, I'm not
is.
looking to be impressive. I'm looking for what works, right? She's
Right.
like, I don't have the ability here to screw up in any way.
It's also like a
example, I'm
defensive
looking
reaction. You
Yeah.
know, you always, even if you're going to get hit by a
I mean, when
train,
you're gonna go
put
like
your
this,
hands out in
you're
front
gonna
of
put
you.
your hands
Yeah.
up in front of you to shield
Yeah.
yourself.
But I think
Yeah.
that since it's been such a thing this whole time
Yeah.
that she never uses her hands, like now it's like
Here we go.
the stakes
So
are
did-
too
Oh,
high.
scream.
So if nobody knew they were there, did Lanfear send these guys after them? Because they're just two people walking up the beach, and now all of a sudden,
They're
all of
pretty
these soldiers
close.
are coming.
Where is she?
So do you think it was Lanfear who sent them to make sure
I
they're
don't-
worthy?
no.
Like if
I
you're
think it's Ishii. I think Ishii
Well,
knew they were coming?
knew there was a
They're
way.
pretty close. They're within eyesight of the walls of the city, and the Shanshan army would have patrols.
I love
circling
the
them.
arrow cat.
let's
Oh, yeah,
fucking
so
go.
great.
Fucking
Let's
yeah.
fucking go. Catch
Ah,
the arrow.
so good.
Use it. I mean, come
Such a-
on.
Such a redeeming scene for like for
Yes.
fight, for his lack
Yeah.
of having like awesome fighting scenes in this.
Yeah.
Season.
Yeah, like he's got his mojo back. He and
Oh, yeah.
Moraine have their mojo back, and I feel like in that look where she's like, I can't hold him. Yeah.
The other thing here is
Yep.
he's not just trying to kill them,
But she's
right?
like, I'm
He's
gonna
trying
basically
to
burn myself out.
demoralize them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You could see that he was getting pleasure from breaking them there and
And
seeing
yeah.
their terror and fear, and like he was happy because
And
that's the evil in him.
We've got
I
our
feel like
stronger
this is
together
like
moment right here.
Justice
Our stronger together
League
moment.
level shit right now,
Oh,
right?
here we go. Were you saying this is another moment for Nynaeve? Like Nynaeve's deepening for Elaine here.
And this makes sense that like it's
Yes,
important
the
because
bond that forms
somebody-
between Elaine and Rand from healing him.
It also makes sense that like the wound doesn't really heal because it's like
Yeah.
it was incorrectly done because she's only a novice.
Oh my god, look at her. She's like an angel. She's
And she's also not good at healing.
Yeah,
no.
that's not her specialty. She's not going to do it right. Plus, it was
Right.
done by the dagger,
Also, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
there's so many layers
And the
there.
fact that Matt did it.
And remember the
Yeah, look.
affinity that
Yep,
you
it was the
develop
look
when
that-
you
yes.
heal
Of course,
somebody,
yeah.
right?
The look
Like
that-
they talked about that in
that
season
she-
1.
Nothing
With-
with like a gross cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
It really does.
Oh,
But
yeah.
remember when they talked about when Moraine knew that Nynaeve had healed Elaine of Egwene of breakbone fever in episode in season 1. Now there's this affinity that's formed between Elaine and Rand because she healed him. So that's setting up for
From death too, not just
From
not just
death,
from a little
exactly.
thing.
Oh, okay.
So Moraine has to have an
an
Angreal here. Like, I'm sorry, she has to still have access to an Angreal here.
I'm sure she does.
I'm sure she does. Yeah. I'm sure she didn't lose her toys when she got shielded.
Yep. No. Let's fucking go, Vasu Roth. See you later.
Lanfear did not send these guys to the beach is that she told Moraine when the moment is right.
When the moment is right. Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Honestly, I think they're just a patrol from the Shanshan army.
Yeah. That makes sense.
They would have patrols around the city.
Yeah. This is the stronger together moment. I feel like this is very purposefully Justice League because Perrin says at the very beginning of the season, we are stronger together. And Rand's whole thing all season is pushing away the people he loves to protect them. And Lan's like, that's bullshit. You need them and you can't protect them.
I can't wait to see Issue 2.0. That's all I gotta say.
Something's going down.
I like
he didn't even move. He did nothing. He let it happen.
Yep. Yeah, look, he almost has that. He almost has that. Do you remember? So do you remember in the very end of season 1, right? And there's the Heron mark. At the end of season 1, when before everybody really knew that Moraine was just shielded and not stilled, when he did the little knot, and at the end he gave the little like half smile. Before he faded. It wasn't as blatant here, but he was like he was too accepting of his fate, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely.
Like he knew something else was going to be coming.
I had a comment in an interview I remember where he was like, well, the options here are basically I win or I get to die. So at this point, I've lost everything. I go, bye.
But he has to know with the Dark Ones.
I think Ishamael would understand that he probably can't die unless the Dark One
lets him die, right?
Yeah.
Look at the wreckage and the destruction.
And also, what greater punishment for someone who wants to be dead than being continuously reanimated?
Yeah.
Right.
What a bummer.
That is not the last we're going to see of him.
No. Definitely not.
This, I like this scene. It is, I don't understand it from the way I understand the One Power works in the books, but I really like this scene a lot.
I mean, and again, another question I have is how do they know what a dragon looks like without the dragon banner being shown to them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what they've seen. Yeah, I mean,
I get it, but that's just like a question, right? That you have. So
the Dark One just wasn't watching one of the most poignant battles happening on the planet at that time. Yeah.
Maybe if I really mess it up, he'll let me stay dead.
If I really mess up.
Just boner this thing.
What I love about episode 7 is that there are repeated things of like, we're going to announce the dragon with us, like clearly looking like we're in control. The Aes Sedai say that, and Ishamael says that. And in here, he like gets announced basically on his own with his friends around him. And it's like on his terms.
Right.
I think that's really cool. That's just like a nobody owns me moment.
You don't own me.
About this particular type of fire banner is like in the books.
Okay, watch this part right here with Missima. We're about to see it.
Yeah.
Just
the book.
Okay, the Aiel, the Karakarn. Yes, let's fucking go. But this part with Missima, I think this was the most resonated the most with me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see him go. I'm gonna go nuts.
This is going to be my entire personality from now on.
Yes.
Yep.
And then there's Lanfear. She's like, okay,
my job is done.
Job done.
I'm also so glad Perrin finally got his yellow eyes. Like I'm so happy.
Same. Talk about a tortured soul right here.
So good.
Let's go, Loyal.
Is that you can realistically, if you're a doubter, say, well, that's an Aes Sedai illusion, because it is.
It is, yes.
And appearing in the sky, you get kind of hard to do.
Good point.
I know.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Oh, my favorite.
Look at how smug she looks and how fucking on point oh my god, she looks so freaking hot.
So good.
Like,
she did an outfit change for that whole thing.
She did.
By the way, she did an outfit change to a different armor-looking outfit.
Oh.
Yep.
The
And
music-
there's where the dusting of the hands comes into play.
My,
The
Don't
music
step on
here
Samael.
my fucking
is
girl.
so good.
my
Oh my
God.
God, dude. Oh,
This is my fucking girl.
it's everything. She gives such hard Annie Lennox vibes. I can't even stand it.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see her.
Softly into the shadows.
I cannot wait.
God, and the fear on Lanfear's face, like
Yep.
the absolute fear.
I think, and she's stronger than her in the one power, but I think it's because she's realizing that she's had time to be there before she got there. So and that the other seals are broken, but she's like, oh shit, Mo Gideon had time to set up traps. I'm definitely getting sprung a trap.
Yep.
Like that was what that face was.
I love that.
That is so fucking amazing right there.
Mhm.
Like, kiss me softly into the shadows. Oh my God, I'm here
So
for it.
good.
She's like insane. She's insane.
A lot. There's a couple of cultures that color the tips of their fingers black. I'm not sure if that's a cultural thing or if it's maybe like a corruption thing with the one power. Like in the real world, not in the Wheel of Time.
I love that we're getting into the dynamics of like the Forsaken. Like Ashambael's the
Yes.
overplanner. Lanfear's the one who just like does shit, right? Like
Mhm.
throws Matt into a wall. And I like to think that Ashambael was like, "How do we get him here?" And she was like, "Just shove him
Just
into
hit
a
him.
wall."
Just hit him.
Yeah. Hit him in the head with a
and
bat.
look at how diminutive she looks compared to Lanfear, but how
She's very
Yeah.
powerful in this.
You know how
scene.
hard you have
Yeah.
to fucking act, how much you have to own a scene as a short person. Like
Yep.
it's hard when you're acting next to a tall person if you're supposed to be somebody who's like the scary one in that moment. You have to be really fucking present.
and she's a Spanish actress, isn't she?
I believe so.
Yeah, but
I
I love that
think
her issue that like Lanfear's criticized her for being too
Here, wait.
cautious.
Hold on.
Oh,
What she
cool.
says here is so poignant, I feel
Yep.
like.
Yeah.
Light save you, Randall Thor.
Yeah.
I'd help you.
Light help you.
Oof, she's sweating.
She is like so fucking scared right now.
Like the fact that she said light help you, Randall Thor, is
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
so poignant. She didn't, first of
Very.
all, she didn't call him Lucerne. That's one.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
She said light help you.
Yeah.
Light help
I-
you.
Might help you.
This is I think this is the start of them trying to show us that Lanfear is not really dedicated to the shadow like some of the Forsaken are.
Yeah,
She's
she's got
dedicated to
different
herself.
motives.
Yeah.
She's got different motives. Whereas, like, yeah, I mean, they all have different motives. It's so interesting to me because she says Megedion is insane. Like, that's the first thing we hear about Megedion.
Mhm.
Right.
She's Megedion is insane.
There you go.
Grendel's a
Thank
vain
you, Norman
idiot.
Garden.
Mhm.
And the boys couldn't put together a plan if they were under compulsion, I think or pull off a plan if they were under compulsion. So it's interesting. Like, yeah,
thanks,
just their
Gustave.
dynamic. I also wonder if we're being set up a little
Bless you.
bit.
Thank you.
I also wonder if we're being set up a little bit for like a one-to-one, comparison between. Can you stop?
I'm trying to
moving
bring the
window
screen over
around?
here.
Oh my god! I feel like I'm having a
Going over
there.
stroke.
You're gonna get an emotion sickness.
Sorry, I feel like I'm having a stroke.
Why is it small?
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna speak
All right,
to
there we
the.
go.
Okay, great.
Okay,
great.
sorry.
It was like over here. and
Yeah, I
there was
don't
a-
know. It's a
Anyway,
MacBook.
so-
I'm bad at MacBooks.
that was a very married
No
moment for the
Windows
two of
boy.
us. But so I think it's really interesting because it feels like there's potential too for like one-to-ones with the Forsaken almost. Like, I mean, Megedion and Nynaeve we kind of get a little bit in the books, but I feel like
Yeah.
Ashamael loves those Darkhounds, man. And I feel like
Samael.
Sorry, Samael. I was
Yeah.
set up to fail, but Samael loves those Darkhounds, and I feel like wolves versus Darkhounds would be really fun if we're like, if we're gonna. I
Yeah.
mean, because I feel like Slayer is kind of hard to explain, so I
Yeah.
feel like if there's like a combo between,
Books 1 to 3, buddy.
Oh, you're
Is-
fine right now.
is he not in
you're
book
fine.
3?
Nope.
Oh, so whatever.
No, it's fine.
But that
It's
moment
fine.
is hard to
That doesn't
explain.
really that
without-
doesn't slip anything out. Though.
But
yeah. But that's
so-
not my-
So the Dark Hounds that I always felt were underutilized. A lot of the Shadow
Yes.
Spawn I always felt were underutilized in the books.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you agree with me. And
Yeah.
I feel like the show is already doing an amazing job just what they did with the merge roll. Like
yes.
showing
That
them use
fight.
that shadow step.
Insane.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That was
awesome.
everything.
So awesome.
So
And
awesome.
really hope they step up, like the Dark Hounds fighting wolves, and it being like a real like enemy type situation where like they hate each other, and like and it plays out throughout the entire season leading up to, you know, hopefully
maybe a cold open with how some shadow spawn are formed.
That would be
something
awesome.
I'd love to see some one-to-ones, especially as we consider like the stakes of like, I mean, I think we know our sweet cinnamon roll babies would not turn on Rand, but like it's happened before in the past, potentially. It's happened before. His ex-girlfriend turned on him and his friends turned on him. And so it's like that adds some stakes to like, could, again, we keep talking about like, who is monster? It's like the big question at the end of the day is like, could we be wrong? And if we are wrong, that means that the world explodes, like that we have destroyed the entire world if we are wrong. And so it's like everyone we trust, every decision we make is going to have big, big consequences. And it's just like, you know, are we going to be doing the right thing? Are we trusting the right people?
Right.
Can we even trust
you can
ourselves?
You can see it in the scene when in episode 1, after Maureen kills the shit out of Lanfear. And they're running out of the cabin. They're coming down a hill, Maureen and Rand. And she says to Rand, "You didn't kill the Dark One." Like, and you can see the weight, like you were just describing it, the weight of all of that going back on Rand. Like there's even like a close up on his face at that moment, and you can see it in his face.
Right.
I think, I think that's going to be something that just haunts always. And it's like, I mean, and if we're not given complete information, like who can we trust with the information that we have? But if we're not given complete information, we make drastic, horrible mistakes like Swan did last episode.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we go too far into the deep discussion, because I want to go all the way down in it. So I want to just say, if anyone is going to leave before we go into the larger book spoiler level, thank you for hanging out with us. As I said before in the beginning of the episode, we will be watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Get my little happy ang up there. Not starting next week. Next week we'll have like a recap episode. So if anyone hasn't seen season 1 of Avatar and still wants to come and watch season 2 with us, and you don't have time to rewatch the entirety of season 1, come and hang out with us next week. We'll have hopefully Ebony will be back. She'll be feeling better. And we'll sit.
Miss Ebony. I've been here
Ebony
twice, and Ebony's not been here the last 2 times I've been here.
She's just been super busy with the playoff season, like because she works for the Washington Commanders.
How dare she?
But
work.
We'll go over season 1 and we'll talk about it. I'll show some clips and some pictures. We'll talk about Avatar in general. We'll talk about all the news that has come out in the last couple of weeks about the live action show. And we'll recap Wheel of Time, and we'll go over, our guests that we had and maybe some upcoming guests for the stuff. And obviously, Alie, Gus, you guys are more.
I'm so down. I fucking love Avatar. I'm so hyped for this.
So good. I'm so excited.
I've seen the whole show like several times.
It's my comfort show. I put it on in the background.
Yes. When shit is going down, I either watch like one of 3 shows: Avatar, Parks and Recreation, or Schitt's Creek. Those are my 3 shows where I'm like, if I need to hear
2 of those 3 shows, I'm on board with 100%. Avatar, I'm waiting until after I watch the live action, and then I'll go back and watch the cartoon.
I'm so invested in this live action show.
Me too.
Me too. I am 100% on board for it. If Netflix does as good of a job with it as they did with One Piece, which One Piece was one of my favorite shows of 2023.
I'm a little iffy on one of the things that they said in an interview recently, but we'll talk about that next week. Yeah. No, that's not a spoiler. They said they wanted to appeal to Game of Thrones fans. And I was like,
I mean, all I have to say is Daniel Day Kim is starring in the show.
I know. I love
Daniel
Oh
Day Kim.
my freaking God. He is
but I do
amazing.
I do have feelings about that too, because I think a lot of people are like, we need to also be making content for youth. Like we need to understand that like some things need to be for youth.
Especially
and like if
Avatar.
adults like it too, that's awesome. But like Bluey, which is also one of my comfort shows, does not give a shit if I like it. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's the right thing. Like it just because of a lot of adults watch it and love it does not mean that that's what the show. Like suddenly we're going to have
you're not the target audience.
Yeah,
right? You can still enjoy it, but
my feeling is there needs to be programming that is specifically for and unapologetically for children.
Especially with the stuff that Avatar deals with, in the way that they deal with it is so good for kids.
So good.
let's deep dive though, not into Avatar right now until Wheel Time. So I'm going to switch over to the other banner. So we're going to be spoilers through Crossroads of Twilight. So just to recap everyone very quickly on what that means. The one power is cleansed. Fianle is captured by the Shido Aiel. Perrin is searching still. The beginning of Crossroads is one of my favorite scenes with Perrin, specifically the one where he cuts the hands off of the Aiel and then throws the axe into the woods.
Oh, yes. And then Elias comes up and he's like...
Yeah, such a powerful scene.
Yeah.
Matt and Elaine have... the Bowl of Winds is done. Mm-hmm. So that happened. They killed the golem with the fox, or we know that the fox head affects the golem. Golems are a thing.
Sure.
What else happens? His battle.
Can I go a little bit into book 11 where I'm at?
How much we go into 11 is up to you, because I don't want to. I don't want to spoil anything.
Galad killed
timer.
Valda.
Thanks, Noman.
Yes. Killed Valda. Thank
yes. Let's
fucking
go.
God. Oh my God.
Let's go, Galad.
That guy.
Let's go.
I was like, damn it. Now am I a Galad stan? Jesus Christ. Okay, so that happened. Perrin is planning on putting the tea in the water to affect
the fork root.
To affect the wise ones. Yeah, that fork root tea's going in that water. I think Roland is probably toast, but I don't know that yet. And I hope
Roland.
so. I think he's creepy as fuck. Really?
I mean,
hate him.
I like he is creepy as fuck. He is creepy as fuck, but I love that they showed the different
Rapunzel, I'm going to quote that a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm saving this clip.
Never been so
funny.
excited over a murder. But I mean, I do like how they
remember, we still have some of his plot left.
Yeah. No, I love how they set up, like, the fact that there's dissension within the Aiel. Like, they're not all towing the party line. They just don't feel like they have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
He is definitely creepy as fuck, but how much of that is creepy as fuck and how much of that is Aiel society? Mm-hmm. With her being Doka Vale. Or no, not Doka Vale. What's the word I'm looking for? Gaisha. She's Gaisha.
I feel like him and Talonvor are the boyfriends I ordered on Wish. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I wanted.
I love it.
I feel like they're being presented as like interesting guys. And I'm like, no, stop massaging me naked. Like, what am I talking about?
That's,
you know what I mean?
Did save her life by doing that, though. I'm just saying.
Her and put her in the damn position in the first place.
Well, there's that too.
There's that fault. Too. Oh, I'm going to make my prime do a little bit better than I
that dynamic.
What kind of did Stockholm syndrome?
I would like him
Save
more
it,
if
Patty
he wasn't
Hearst.
the one who kidnapped her. But that's a conversation for another thing.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but it does set a good to show that they're not everybody is following the towing the line of what the Shido leadership falls under.
Yeah.
That I totally
the Shido are broken in more ways than one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it almost reflects, it almost falls upon, like, when you think about indigenous people here in the United States and how colonialism has impacted them with, like, the introduction of alcohol and lack of purpose. There's some parallels to that with being displaced. And
there's also some deep parallels of Native Americans who fought with King George and who fought against King George. So there's
and they were still less than,
with that as
yeah,
well.
definitely some parallelisms with colonialism and stuff.
I definitely think that it's important to emphasize that, like, cultures aren't a monolith, right? That there are individuals within a larger culture that have feelings and don't necessarily always agree with what's going on. Definitely, I'm always key Love me some hot nuance always, because I feel like it's important to remember that hot nuance exists in the world. On the other hand, roll on is creepy.
That's major creep vibes.
That's happened. The Gallad thing happened. Nothing has really happened with Matt. He's just he gave 2 on a horse that's not a zebra.
I am miserable about the fact that he's going to marry her. I am miserable.
Rand hasn't shown up yet. And I think that's it.
I don't
What's
like
happening
her.
with the rebel group? Where's
Nothing
the rebel
yet.
group?
Nothing has happened yet. You talking about the Aes Sedai?
Yeah, like they've left Saladar by this time, right?
Egwene's
captive. Egwene's
She's
captive.
all right. So that's what I wanted to say.
And
I can't remember.
I haven't gotten a W in this book since Gallad killed Aemon Valdo. That has been the W that has sustained me, because
you got
Rand
it. Keep going
with the Sean Chan. Terrible. I hate it. I hate everything about it. Matt's hanging out and maybe gonna shack up with a Sean Chan. Terrible. I hate it. I'm miserable. Parent. I don't know why that's happening.
Very festive. It was festive.
Hey,
it's Matt. It really contrasts with my mood.
Oh
Baron is making a deal with the Sean Chan. Egwene is captured. My girl Egwene. Nynaeve has been on the shelf for like 3 books now. I am miserable.
So the slog is real for you, is what you're saying.
And Moraine is dead. I'm like, this sucks. I love these books so much. It's just that they've hurt me deeply, and I'm mad about it.
Well, that's the idea, isn't it? That's totally the idea, is to keep you.
I did put the books on punishment a lot. That's what I call it. I used to put the books on top of my refrigerator when they were on punishment.
We put them in the freezer.
I'm punishing you for a little while.
I mean, I went through a stint. I stopped reading for years after when Matt was crushed under the wall in Abu Dar when the Shan-Chan invaded. I can't remember what book that was, right? And in the next book, when he was just mentioned and he didn't even have a part, I skipped the next 3 books. I didn't read them. Wow. It was not until after Robert Jordan passed away, and then I felt guilty. Because I started reading in 1991. Okay, I mean, I was like 1991 was when I started. I was a senior in high school when I picked up my first book. So like when I say lifelong, I mean like literally more than.
I mean, they only came out in 89. So.
They came out in 90. Like it came out. I actually might have picked up the first book in December of 1990. Like I turned 17 in December of 1990. But so anyway, I was a senior in high school, and it was like right there. And I was working a part-time job as a cashier in a grocery store, and I was like, oh, this looks like it could be entertaining to read, because I was into Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms and stuff, and I was like, the cover is really awesome. So I picked it up and I started reading it, and I never looked back. But I got so angry when we didn't even we didn't even see Matt, and I stopped reading for like years.
I felt that too a little bit. I was a little sad for Crystal. I'm like, we're all so loud.
Yeah, Crystal.
I'm sorry, Crystal. I'm gonna shut up now.
I also have like next to no voice because I've been sick for 2 weeks, so I'm loving to listen to you guys. But okay, you mentioned a theory on Elaine, Alie, and I put a note on my phone when you mentioned it when we were watching it. Can you share your theory?
Well, Crystal, it was this sweet of you to be like, I'm now going to speak for the first time, and what I'm going to do is punt it back over to
I would like to.
Yeah.
Told you I'm losing my voice.
I literally screaming.
I put a note on my phone that I wanted to hear your theory.
That's so sweet. Okay, and then I'm going to punt it back to you, so no one else say anything, because I want to hear Crystal's thoughts. But okay, yeah. So shut up. Anyway, so really quickly,
it's sad. I'll just say it's sad.
So
Elaine,
everybody be ready to be sad.
It is sad. It is sad. So Elaine struck me in the scene with Nynaeve where they're like holding hands while they're watching Rima get taken. There was something about that shot for shot, I was like, I feel like I've seen this scene a million times, but usually what I see this scene as is like young children watching abusive parents, right? Or like an abusive parent from a closet or whatever. And there was something about the way that was shot and framed that really bothered me. And I was like, And what has been kind of also bothering me throughout the season has been like when Elaine is witnessing like high intensity, high stress moments, it's like a lot of that. It's a lot of like her kind of fading into the background, into the shadows. And I'm like, part of that is obviously an acting choice of like, well, I don't have lines, right? So I can't I have to kind of give up the attention of this scene. But there was another part of it that just like, she's eerily calm every time something is going to shit. Like she just kind of like dissociates and gets super calm and is like, all right, here's what we're going to do, or here's what the plan is. And to me, that felt very like, something is wrong at home. And when I was thinking about the Tracans and how we can make them likable, right? Because that's the big question is like, how do we make the Tracans and all of their Jerry Springer realness likable? I was like, well, to me, what makes sense is if Tarangale is an abusive parent. Not necessarily physically abusive, but definitely abusive in some way.
You could see
like, look at her.
Like, yeah.
Every time she's like faded into the background, separate from everything, like standing there staring, right? And it just started to bother me. And I was like, to me, it makes sense. And honestly, I think it's implied in the books that that's the case because he shows very little interest in his children. That's said by Leanie. And I don't think you go from 0 to I want to kill my spouse. You know what I mean? Like, I think there has to be something there before you plot to kill. Yeah. I think you feel like escalate that.
I feel like it's alluded to that that he might be abusive in the book too.
Yeah, and it feels like it makes all of their personalities and their reactions to one another make sense, right? Like Gawain and Galet's like commitment to being good men and commitment to I don't know what's happening, but the commitment to being like Galet's commitment to black and white thinking of like this is what a good man is and this is what a good man isn't. That makes sense to me.
Gawain's obsessive need to protect Elaine.
That I feel like
her.
Goes way beyond. Yeah, that goes way beyond to me.
Like, yes, he swore an oath as a baby. Yes.
Yeah, the parentification of Gawain. I feel like it goes much deeper. And to me, I was like, I feel like they could shot for shot do that in a cold open and have it be Gawain holding Elaine's hand. I feel like that could be shot for shot what happens. So that started to bother me. It makes sense from a book perspective. It makes sense from a Morgaze cyclical, like she's constantly getting involved with bad dudes and why no one does anything about Robin. If
she
Robin
has a bad picker.
She's a bad picker. And frankly, like that to me makes sense because I mean, you have there is a cyclical nature to abusive partnerships where like if you have an abusive partnership, and I can say this as someone who has been in an abusive partnership more than once, you are more likely to be in one again.
Yeah, you are.
Unfortunately, you just are predisposed to being in a cycle that hopefully you can break, right? It doesn't mean doom and gloom, but so to me also, though, when we're talking about cycles and we're talking about the cyclical nature of violence, we're talking about generational trauma, we're talking about all that stuff, to me, that cycle is also a wheel, these family dynamics. And what does it mean then that Elaine is falling in love with someone who may snap and kill her? I mean, that's heavy.
Yeah.
But true to form, right?
But true to form. I mean, we sometimes repeat the patterns that we see.
So I just have a quick question before getting back to Crystal. Your point of view, Alie and Gus. Do you think, because we don't have any, confirmed certain castings, do you think we're going to have Galad and Gawain in the show?
Yeah.
As separate individuals?
I do.
I think so, but I understand why.
Aren't they cast? Galad's cast.
No.
And wasn't there a leaked? I thought Galad was cast. I thought he was like the guy with the Twitter presence.
I don't think it's confirmed, and it's not confirmed.
Okay, it's not confirmed.
But some of the leaks are wrong, which is what I always hesitate to people to say. Like when the whole Eludrin fiasco happened, I was like, people, can you stop getting excited about leaks and then like being proved wrong? Please, thank you.
But Gawain has been named up on the show, so we know he exists.
Gawain has.
I don't know.
I think their journeys are distinct enough. And they are both interesting enough characters, and they've done. I mean, they expanded out the Damodred family.
You're talking about Gawain, right? Gawain.
Sorry,
Did you say
yes, Gawain and Galad? They're both.
I think Gawain's fascinating.
I think he's too.
Yeah.
I think he's the epitome of a flawed person.
I hate the character, but I think he's
Road to Hell is paved with good intentions. He is the epitome of that saying. I want to
walk into the sea whenever he shows up, but he is fascinating.
Makes sense. I think he's fascinating to read.
He was pretty great for the first 6 books. I have to say, I had a crush on Gawain. He was a book crush of mine when I was a teenager.
I loved him until
did you always want the White Knight? Is that what it was?
He wasn't a White Knight.
Galad
was the White Knight.
Funny, and I'm a sucker.
He was kind of
funny.
like the not too serious.
I always viewed Gawain as the White Knight, like the kid, like the one that would be. He would ride up on his horse. I'll do anything to protect you. Where Galad was like the law.
Well, Galad is the White Knight. Gawain is the overeager, wannabe, try hard.
There's a difference. Gawain's like the opposite of Matt. Gawain thinks he's the hero. He's the opposite of Matt.
Yeah, but where Galad is more like he will get his hands dirty. He does not do things to protect others. That's like the White Knight is doing things like he does what's right, no matter who it hurts, even if it's himself, even if it's friends.
Doing it with his heart instead of his head. He's doing
And then the Galad is, Gawain is the other way with that. He will protect people that he cares about. He'll he doesn't have like that hard and fast rule. But I think his main failing is he just puts too much trust in title and leadership role, people that are in leadership
that's so
roles,
true.
Especially as the series progresses.
And before we send it over to Crystal, because this is my last.
Oh, right.
There's no
way. Yeah.
Way too much pressure.
This is no way me blaming Morghese for Robin or Tarangale. I think that sometimes you find I don't think that anyone asks for or deserves to be in a abusive partnership. I think it's something that happens to plenty of people. And I think it's important to note that it's something that doesn't just happen to vulnerable people. Like,
correct.
You can think you're marrying Prince Charming and they snap on a dime. And it's like, and by then you are like so deep in that it's hard to extricate yourself from that situation. And I think it's important to note, and I think that we don't do it enough, that like, just because someone is a powerful person does not necessarily mean that they are invulnerable. And in fact, it makes it even harder for those people to admit that they need help. So I think that there's a lot of unfortunate but interesting things to explore in terms of that family dynamic. And just because Tarangale is not actively like physically abusive does not mean that he wasn't an abusive spouse. I, again, don't think that you go from 0 to I'm going to kill my wife. And he also had nothing to do with those kids in a way that I was like, that feels awful.
Yeah.
And mental abuse can be just as damaging in its own way as physical abuse and emotional abuse.
Oh, neglect. Neglect is a huge catalyst for
neglect, volatility, emotional volatility, even if it's not physical abuse.
And
I mean,
Light Blinded in chat has a great point where saying she probably didn't think he was awesome. She probably married him for political reasons, which again, if you feel like, I gotta stay married to this dude for political reasons, then
she's doing it for the good of her nation.
Right.
Because wasn't she like 18 when she got married? Didn't she get married almost right after she became queen? She was very young.
And I don't know about y'all, but whoever I was with at 18, I can't imagine being married to forever. Oh my God.
Nope.
I mean, not to mention, like, I was a hot mess when I was 18. Like, right? Like, just
no one should be making political decisions at 18. I'm sorry. I don't care how mature you are. Like, that is just not the time. Like, your brain needs to be fully developed before you're making those kind of decisions. Exactly. So yeah, it's a theory that I have that I'm excited by, I think, because I'm not excited about like necessarily the concept, but I'm like, I think that I trust the show to handle it well. And I think it makes sense when you think about what they're doing with Elaine and what I think they're going to do with making those boys likable in a way that's going to frustrate the shit out of me in the best way. You know,
Beth will be right back, she said.
Okay, good.
Crystal, what did you think of the episode?
This was like the culmination of, so I don't know how much you know about my story, but I was not a person who read fantasy or liked fantasy growing up. And then we had this, I live in the Midwest, I'm in Kansas City, this wicked ice storm back in 98. I think, and I got stuck in a house for multiple days, and that's how I started reading the books, because every book I brought, I read through, and so my friend was like, "Here, read this." And these books, like I say, they changed my life, like in a lot of different ways. And so I was bought into the show because it was going to be something new, but then season 1 kind of killed a little bit of my joy. And so throughout this season, like I talked about on here before, like how much this was just writing some of the, I don't even want to call it wrongs, but the things that didn't make sense in my brain about where they were going with the series. And I think this was the only episode this season where I was all in, like in spite of the horn, which did bug me when I saw it. This just brought me back, and it's a new story, and it's something I get to experience again. And I love that part of it. There was nothing about this episode when I was like taking notes on it, when I was writing like the synopsis for it, there's nothing about this episode that truly like bothered me, which I can't say about anything in season 1 or even earlier in this season. I was ready. I left this like dying for more. So yeah, I loved this episode.
They really crushed, I think, in this episode. I've enjoyed I've enjoyed the whole thing, but I'm really happy with what they did this year. So what's your highlight? What's your favorite part of this episode to you?
Oh my gosh. Guy Roberts, when we see him at the end, my husband came in to check on me because I watched these like on my laptop in my room because my husband refuses to read it. Like he hasn't read in the books. Yes.
He's thrilled to hear it.
I screamed like that in the other room, and he came and like burst in the door like someone was stabbing me. He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "No, it's good. It's good." So,
it's a good scream.
It's a good scream. Yeah, but he is now, as he's gone and watched it, I'm the person who sits there and is like, it's coming. It's coming. But yeah, and then the low light is obviously Hopper. I cried like a baby. I had to pause it and shut it off when that happened. I don't care to see that again. That's why I didn't watch the John Wick movies either.
Yeah. I almost got up and walked out of the theater when I watched that first movie. Almost got up and walked out.
Yeah. I have strong feelings about dogs, man.
Any animals, I don't know why.
That boy is my son. Yeah. That boy is my son. Yeah, but
here's we were talking about some deep stuff, so here's a little good break.
Yeah. Oh, he's just
it's a kitty in a basket.
He, they,
he. Yeah, that's my old man. He's 19 years old.
I was looking at him going, he is the cat. Like he is an ancient, wizened, wise man, and I love him.
3. I have so many things going on these monitors right now.
I love it.
I still can't watch a dog die like Blinded Fool. You can't
dog, cat.
Any
animal really.
I almost got arrested because someone in who I used to work with talked about how when he sees cats walking across the street, he swerves to try to hit them. I was like, you need to get up and walk out of the room because I am like my brother-in-law I used to work with. He got up and got in between us because I was like vibrating. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to attack you if you say one more word. And Joe picked him up and brought him out of the room.
I have 2 cats. I would be on a list.
I would be never to work with him again. I requested never to work with him again.
Yeah, he's a sociopath. Yeah. Like, oh my god.
He was trying to be funny and it wasn't funny.
No, that's not freaking funny. No. I also don't get. I think men who have cats are the biggest green flag to me. Because I think that you don't get cats unless you understand consent.
That's true.
That's my thing. You like dogs will kind of put up. Well, not necessarily. Dogs will put up with a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, still don't fuck with dogs and their consent, but like, they'll usually tolerate more. But cats will be a little bit more outwardly spoken about whether or not you've crossed a boundary. Yeah. And I think that, like, if you are like, I hate cats and you're a dude, I'm like, that's a red flag.
And also if cats like you, that means they understand, like you have shown them that you respect when they want to leave because they won't want to be near you if you try to like, hang on to them.
Yes, exactly. I have 2 cats. I'm obsessed with them. My daughter is he's like so sweet, but she hates him. Like I have a boy and a girl. They hate each other, and I get why, but I'm in the middle.
The cats are children. We don't have actual children.
We don't have
to be
actual
clear.
No, I fully understand.
Just in
I
case
have my
anybody
children.
misread. Yeah.
Yeah, they are my children. They get me cards on Father's Day.
I've never gotten a Mother's Day card.
New idea, new tradition.
Petey's knee
Look at the
surgery.
way Gus looking at Alie right now. He's like, "Are you serious right now?"
Way to go, Thom.
Yeah, I call them
Way
my
to
children,
go.
but I'm like, I get that having a child is a very different thing. But I'm like, I think that you can
Just don't
have
want
love.
I mean, but honestly, you can have children and then you can have children because that's my pit bull blue healer mix in the background sleeping.
Oh my god, so much energy.
And she's snoring like a middle-aged man who drank too much last night right now.
I didn't know you have a pit mix, Beth.
I have a pit mix and a border collie mix. Yeah. I have 2 dogs and they're both very high energy. I love your pit mix. And I was devastated last year when your other pitty passed away suddenly. That was gut-wrenching. And
it was the worst.
Yeah, but I love your dog. I love your dog. I see sometimes on video with your dogs.
Yeah, maybe I can
turn your chair.
Where's the dog?
I mean, like, yeah.
Nala.
Nala. She
She
just Nala.
You got it. Yeah, here. I'll move.
She's like, you woke me up for what?
We have to get all of our pets on camera now.
Oh my goodness! They're so sweet.
His sweatshirt. I don't know if you can.
No, you can't read it.
I can. I saw him before you guys started. Before we went live, I saw him walking around. Yeah,
he's security on the back. It cracks me up. Anyway,
I mean, and she's in a beanbag. Like literally, my nephew lived with me for 2 years, and we got him a beanbag while he was here, and now he's back with his mother. And the beanbag has become my dog's bed. And I work from home, and I work on the other side of the house. And in the morning, if I forget to bring this beanbag with me to the office when she comes with me, she will sit there and stare at me and whine. Like, you know how vocal pitties are, like so vocal. She'll just stare at me and she'll go, oh. Like, how dare you forget my bed? Because I need my post-breakfast nap in the morning. Like, seriously.
Schooner used to be like that.
So this
it's ridiculous.
Often, this is how I wake up in the morning. Hold on.
How do you wake up? I have to see it.
I love pets.
Yeah.
Is that Lanfear? Is that Lanfear on you?
No, it's Luther.
It's Luther.
Oh.
You have a cat named Lanfear?
That's often how I wake up in the morning.
Don't you have a cat named Lanfear?
I do.
He does have a cat named Lanfear.
And Luna.
And Luna.
I love
Luna from Sailor Moon.
We have Petey, Beaker, and Minnie.
We'll call it that now. I love that it's I love Beaker. Why do I like Beaker? Oh, Muppet.
Beaker because of Beaker from the Muppet.
Named after the Muppet.
The best Muppet.
Like.
Beaker never is the best Muppet.
He sounds like him.
I love that name. Why do I love that name?
I think my favorite fantasy-inspired pet name, not necessarily because it's a pun, but just because it always hits me full in the face whenever I hear it, is the Master of the Deck has a cat named Silchas Ruin, which is such an intense name.
And that cat is such an asshole in the best way if a cat can be an asshole.
If your cat's name is Silchas Ruin, they have to be an asshole. Like, you have to have an asshole cat.
I mean, seriously, that cat is the best, worst cat in the entire, like, Wheel of Time fandom. In like the best way. Because it's like...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you if you know, you know. That's all I can say.
I usually have our the screenshots that I pull out of the episodes while we talk. So I'm going to pull them back up so we can.
Yeah.
It'll prompt us
back
to
on
go through them
topic. Oh my God, we're so.
Oh, real quick, Crystal, do you have pets? Do you have pets, Crystal?
I lost both. Okay, so in the last, like, since I lost, I'm gonna cry. I can't talk about it. I lost both my dogs. They were 2 years apart. They were brothers. They were like my first kids before I had kids. One of them, he was 14. He was 90 pounds. He was a Weimaraner Bull Mastiff Lab mix. We always talked. We've been preparing. I have kids that are 7 and 2. We've been preparing them. Like, he's really old, guys. He doesn't walk very well. And about 4 months before he passed, our younger dog, who was not that much younger, who was 12, got a tumor, got pancreatic cancer, and died all within like a week. It was actually the day of my daughter's 7th birthday party. It was horribly tragic. And they were, so they were my little loves. And then shortly before that, my cat that I'd had since I was 18 had passed away. So we've lost 3 of our pets within like the last 18 months, and it's been awful.
Oh, I just can't imagine.
Awful.
I'm so sorry. We lost our
So
baby boy at the end of last year. And it's so
I heard
hard.
it
You have a tortoise?
It's
I have a Russian tortoise. He's gonna live with me forever now because
they do that. Yeah,
they do. We got him like 10 years ago, but he currently has an upper respiratory infection that he can't kick, and it's terrifying me because I can't lose any more babies.
Pets are family, right? Like people are like, "Oh, a pet's a pet," but pets are family.
Mine have Christmas stockings and all of the things. All of the things.
Yeah. My dog has a raincoat. Like that dog is family.
Yeah.
He's got sweatshirts. We do family Halloween costumes every year.
Oh my God,
of course you do.
Yes, of course we do.
Of course you do.
Did they go visit Santa?
That just reminded me of
I want to do that this year. Petey couldn't go last year because he had knee surgery, but next year we're doing Santa. Sorry, Thom.
No, you're good. The when we did the Hawaii fundraiser thing where we watched the marathon of season 1 and season 2 all at once, and we had everyone on and stuff. I was just reading stuff about Hawaii so that we could talk about it during the show, and I remembered one of the little factoids was in Hawaiian, which is how they pronounce it. You don't say pet, and you don't own your animal compatriots. They call them kahu. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, and I'm sorry, but it basically means like you're their guardian, they are your guardian. Like you don't own them; they're your like honored attendant. Is another translation of it.
That's so true.
What's that expression you see on social media when you see the videos of the cats showing up? Cat distribution system.
Yeah,
the cat universal cat distribution system picks me. I want the cat. I want to be a recipient of the cat distribution system, but my border collie is very prey driven, and it wouldn't be a safe. She's very like super.
Every now and then it's a dog distribution system. Every now and then.
I can't do another dog right now.
That's valid too.
I love that. They're both high energy. I have a border collie and a pit bull. Blue heeler.
That's a lot. We had the cat distribution system happen to us. We were running in the park one day in Chicago, and I thought we saw the weirdest looking squirrel I've ever seen, and it turned out to be a like 8-week-old kitten.
Oh.
And so I scooped it up, and I have it, and we're like looking for the mom, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like look for any more, and you're supposed to look for the mom. And there's like nothing around. There's like nobody. And so I was like, it's quite possible that someone just left him here. And it's starting to rain. So we're like, all right, we gotta go. We gotta make
a cat now.
So, but we already had 2 cats, and Gus was like, we have a rule.
I think we were fostering a third.
And we were fostering a third.
So we had 3.
Wow.
So we had 3. Yeah, we had a rotating pre-dog. Third cat for a long time. And this is pre-dog. And Gus was like, we have rules. But my friend, Katie, had lost her cat that she'd had for like 18 years or something like that, like 2 months before. And she had told me like a month before that she was like thinking about looking for another cat. So I called her and I was like, I don't know if this is interesting to you at all. But we found this, and you can tell me to fuck off if you're not ready. But I was like, but we found this cat. Do you want him?
Alone in
and
the
she's
park.
like, and she's basically like, give me a second to think about it. And then she picked him up. And we named him Stanley Tucci, and he's still hers to this day.
I love
best name ever for one of the best actors out there. I'm there for it. That's amazing.
Yeah, I regularly get updates on Stanley Tucci's antics. He's doing great.
That's fantastic.
Best Stanley Tucci role, by the way, is the dad in Easy A.
Yes, but tied with Caesar Flickerman in the Hunger Games.
But I also really loved him in Devil Wears Prada.
That's all. He doesn't have a bad role.
He's really good.
He's
an amazing chef. Have you ever watched?
Yes, I've watched his cooking. Yeah,
his travel stuff.
Yeah, he's a chef.
I love him. That to me is the female case. Like Stanley Tucci is primo man.
Absolutely top tier.
I want to travel the world with him. I want him to feed me pasta.
Him and Patricia Clarkson, who plays the mom in Easy A, didn't have dialogue. Like they didn't have any dialogue written for them. If you like that movie, go and watch it again because every scene that they're in is ad-libbed. Every scene there is.
Crazy.
I mean, Stanley Tucci and Pedro Pascal are like at the top of my list of like.
Yeah. I don't idolize celebrities because I always worry I'm going to get disappointed.
Yes, because you might, but
I would genuinely be disappointed if they or Dolly Parton.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm speaking of actors.
Hi,
like,
Sita.
why can't I see you guys talking? And it's because I have this.
Hi, Sita.
Rough.
Yeah, this was
in the best way.
It's because it was I had this picture up for when we were looking at this one. So.
Yeah, but look at her. Okay, that's my thing.
Yeah, I mean, and the scarification is another thing for the stanchion that I've always, that I wanted to ask you guys about. What do you guys think about that?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for their culture. I'm wondering what they mean. I feel like that may be a thing we learn later.
Especially because the blood have it, and you're not allowed to ever draw the blood of the blood. Like you can never, like if you draw their blood, you're put to death. So
that'd be a hell of a thing, man. You get raised to the blood, and somebody has to shave your head and then die.
Yeah,
that would be.
Do you have a picture of the Shanshan with when they have the blue face paint on? Because I'd like to see how the scarification shows up with the blue face paint. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, I think
like with
before the
Rena.
scene is with Rena. So
yeah,
I don't think you have enough stills here.
Yeah, I have a lot.
It kind of makes me feel like, they're trying to make themselves look as horrific as possible, or as like scary and don't fuck with me as possible.
Yeah.
So that like to instill fear in their enemies. That kind of is what it feels like to me. It's like there's something very brutalistic about it that I think is really fascinating, but without like
it's a mark of their station. The scarification for the Suldam. It's like they're easily identified by other people. Because Turok had scarification as well, didn't he? But it was much more ornate.
All over his head. It was very everywhere, all over his head.
Yeah. The hairstyles too feel
not too much here.
Purposefully.
The costuming for the Shanshan was just so top tier. I mean, everything about them was.
It reminds me of the Krogan from Mass Effect every time I see it.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the back
Why
stuff.
did you have to bring video games into this?
That's what I do. I bring up video games and then I walk away and eat.
Creepy motherfucker.
I love this.
That is terrifying.
Have you ever had to brown your teeth?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's the stuff tastes so weird to like.
Oh, to brown your teeth. Oh, to make it look like a unhygienic English person from the 1800s.
Yeah, you put like this special stuff on your teeth to like make them look brown, and it comes right off once you like brush your teeth. But it's like this like kind of nasty. It doesn't taste very good. Yeah.
So you can kind of see it there, and it might just be. I just wonder if I mean, this whole look is horrifying. It's almost like the pics, right?
Well,
like
there's a reason for that, Beth. There's a reason for that.
No.
The Shanshan are incredibly dangerous, and we needed people to be fucking terrified of the Shanshan.
For inserting that there. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to love them or be scared of them, but thanks for having Rafe justify. But
they're getting a little buddy with them in the books right now, and it's making me fucking mad. So I'm like, good, make us freaking scared of them.
I mean, they're just humanizing the Shanshan for you, Alie. That's all that's happening.
I don't like it. I don't like
it.
That's a great shot right there of her face, the side angle right there.
Yeah.
In the sunlight, that was a really good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh yeah.
You can see even this one over here.
Yeah, that's
different ones too.
I think it's so interesting that even before the battle starts, when like they see, like when the Rima scene happens, when those women show up, people already start running and screaming before anything happens. And I'm like, so all is not necessarily well being in this police state.
You know what's missing from this picture right here?
Yeah.
Tiki torches. I just calls it like I sees it, boss.
You're not wrong.
No.
The White Cloaks are inherently so problematic. And the fact that they're screaming like burn the witches and shit as they're going through.
As they're being burned by witches.
I'm like, friendly reminder that we also hate these people. Like none of them are good. You know, and friendly reminder that like the innkeeper replacement at that one little area, the name is escaping me.
Atuan's Mill.
Was that Atuan's Mill?
Yeah.
What was the other one where Dana was there?
Oh,
Green Springs.
Oh,
Green
okay. So I
Springs.
incorrectly called something Atuan's Mill when I meant Green Springs. But
Green Springs. At the end of the Four Kings, the Four Kings Inn.
Yeah, but at Atuan's Mill, they said the White Cloaks were worse.
Yeah,
for some people.
You know, unless they pack up your daughter and all of that, I guess.
Yeah, which is what
they'll pack her up or burn her.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said, "Oh yeah, the last innkeeper's gone because she followed the people who took her daughter."
Granddaughter.
But everything's fine now.
Yeah. Other than that,
so
you know.
How would the prosthetics work for this scarification? Like how?
Oh, because I can answer that because I actually wore for one of my Dark Perrin costume that I did.
Of course you did.
It was the theme for JordanCon that year was like, I forgot what we called it, but it was like, you know, the darkest timeline. That's what it was. So like if all of the good characters were evil, I was in the opening ceremonies as Dark Perrin, but I had a big scar.
Like the new video game that just came out for on PlayStation, the Dark Justice League guys.
Okay. But they were all corrupted by Brainiac in that.
You're such a nerd.
I had white contacts because I was a Dark Hound wolf brother.
Okay.
But they put this gelatin stuff on your face that has it's kind of like clear nail polish remover. As it dries, it tightens your skin up and it looks like a scar. And you just the more you paint it on your face, the deeper the scars look. I mean, she also could just be wearing like facial prosthetics, like silicone.
Yeah, like the prosthetics that you see.
But that's a really, like, I did it the very first time I did it and it came out beautifully. Like it looked really good. I'll see if I could find a picture from when I wore
Of course,
that. I think I had one of my Facebook profile pictures.
You have You have pictures of literally everything ever.
I have thousands of pictures, especially in my Wheel of Time folder, like which I thought I lost a couple of years, like a year ago. It's seriously like 20 years of Wheel of Time pictures. Anyway,
excuse me.
What else?
I love when she spits that thing out.
Oh yeah, such a good, and it's so poignant that I like that they have it in because it's so poignant that it's like it's showing just how far broken the Damane are because they have to willingly keep that in their mouth. They can spit it out whenever they want, but they're so broken that they keep it in their mouth.
I'm also loving this whole like this thing of like cultural misunderstandings or cultural like kind of what the fuck moments that we're getting, like when the voice stabs himself or when Bane and Chiad beat Avienda. Like I love that they're giving us these moments of like we don't necessarily understand this culture or what's going on, and that culture may or may not give us a learning curve to understand it, and just that emphasis on like we need to come together, but we don't even really have the same customs or have that like baseline level of cultural understanding. Like
I'm getting Anakin Skywalker vibes right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
100%. No, the differing cultures in the Wheel of Time was one of the things that attracted to me in the first place, and I like how they're teaching us about the varying cultures without like making it feel like a class, and I hope they dive deeper into the Aiel in season 3.
I fully expect we'll get a lot of Aiel in season 3. I think it'll be heavy on the Aiel.
Oh yeah, I think the Aiel will be a main event.
Got him
for sure. That was so cool to me.
Oh well, now you can see the scarification better.
Our friend Nathan watched this and he said, "I do not give a fuck about this guy. I don't have time to watch him wave his sword around. Get killed."
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve that screen time.
So
the actor's great.
The actor's great. Yeah. But I feel
a tiny knife.
It is such a tiny knife. It feels like on purpose to like prolong stuff. You know what I mean?
It's very vein though, right there. And if you get that one, you're not
like Rand's face is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do?
Like he purposely left the unarmed guy alive. Like you can tell that he purposely did not hurt him, and yet here we go. Oh,
I know, such a bad. I really wish they didn't do him that dirty. But that's this is
that affects him though. And we get that thing of like every death is going to affect somebody. And I love that.
And it's going to affect Massimo specifically though, because of his fanatical nature.
Yep.
And he's searching for someone to latch onto too.
Right. When he's untethered.
Yeah. Violent.
I love that he's holding that little satchel open with his mouth.
Yeah, it's so like
I love Bill Doman. He do be amazing.
That's like that actor is really chewing the scenery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did we clean the bag? He's got to put it in his mouth. That's a good face.
My God. Yeah, he's
talking about crazy lady.
Yeah, he's so confused by her. I want to know. So he said, "I know your real reasons for being."
Oh yeah,
for pledging to the dark. I'm excited to find out more about that because that shook her for a second.
Yeah, there's the face when he says it right there.
Yeah, she immediately backs down.
Look at her rolling her eyes. I didn't notice that before.
I was not a fan of her, like her head. The way they made her skull
had a lot of hair.
Yeah.
It looked a little too alien like. That was the one criticism I had.
And this is very this is very addict. Like the way he's marching around the room and
touching his face.
Yeah, itching and scratching. Yeah.
It felt very like a metaphor. And
I
love him like kind of reclaiming a little power over that dagger for a second, you know. And some people have said, like, is that the Ashonda Rye? And I'm like, no, I think that is
no, it's not.
I think that is a nod to what's to come. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I was trying not to be spoiler filled when I said that.
Speaking of, before we keep going through that, the one of a viewer posted something that I wanted to get to. That just reminded me of it. I don't know why it reminded me of it though. So, I know why. Because it's something that they have to build to and that they might not do in season 3. All right, so that's I'm going to answer that in a second, and I want to know what you guys think of it. But what do you think the culmination of season 3 will be? Like, what will be the final episode? Is it going to be the Two Rivers? Is it going to be Rudy? Okay.
I think Two Rivers and Al Cardal.
I think Two Rivers is episode 7. Al Cardal is episode 8.
Yeah, because Two Rivers feels like a climax. Episode 7 is usually the climax episode, and that Battle of Two Rivers feels like that. And then, and I think the thesis of this episode is going to be like, can we work together? Or season? There's going to be like, you know, this playing still with like who's a monster, who's a bad guy, all of that stuff is still on the table, but it's also like, can we unite and work together? Yeah. And the Battle of Two Rivers says yes, and Al Cardal says or not. And so I think Al Cardal is 8.
So
I don't think we're going to get the Battle of the Two Rivers. I think they're going to show, like, I think the prolonged Two Rivers stuff is going to be season 4. But I think we'll see the start of Perrin in the Two Rivers, getting to the Two Rivers, the White Cloaks in the Two Rivers, and then maybe them trying to push, like, Perrin just starting to, like, get a coalition to push the White Cloaks out will be the end of season 3.
I think we have time.
Okay, so that makes me wonder a question. Where do you think we're going to get Fianle? How do you think they're going to introduce Fianle into season 3?
Hunter for the Horn already there.
You think she's already going to be in the Two Rivers? I think like she's looking for the Horn of Villiers. She's heard Misty Mountains. She's kind of already in that general area.
Yeah.
And being a worldly person, I do think that Bane and Chiad are going to accompany Perrin.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
So they like him. They already were like,
yeah, we're already hanging out.
Yeah, and Avienda mentioned how like Chiad was, or Bane was going to be upset because he was he had a woman, and then he was like, but Chiad won't care.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're already hinting. Yeah, we're already hinting that Perrin, that there's like maybe a romantic future for Perrin somewhere. Obviously not with Bane and Chiad, because he doesn't correct anyone and say that he's a widow or widower for a man. Yes. He doesn't correct them when she's like, "Oh, you're married. That means you can't sleep with anyone." Oh, Bane will be disappointed. Chiad won't care.
Right.
So he's not at this moment open for love. I think we have time for Battle of Two Rivers. I don't think we have time for the emotional journey of Perrin gets married at the Battle of Two Rivers.
Agree.
Maybe they
100%.
I think a kiss. Yeah. I think I'm open now to like love and affection. I think that's on the table.
The cup crush scene from.
I think we'll get something like that. Yeah.
I think that'll be like a scene where Fianle like shows emotion toward Perrin, like comforting him and seeing that deep emotion in him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think
one thing I want to point out before we get away from it, Rapunzel. So the stuff that was in the Two Rivers set was not film stuff. Like they set up like a party for the people that went to Prague. There was an entire battalion of Shaunchin there, but that never happens. Like that's like they specifically told Kathy, the CEO of Dragonmount, and all the other people that were there, that they did this for them so that they could see, the dead Trolloc dummy and like the Shaunchin costumes.
How cool.
So I don't think maybe there'll be Trollocs and Two Rivers in season 2, but I don't.
It'd be funny
the pictures from Prague are not that.
It'd be funny if they were trolling them.
Yeah, it would be.
Trolling
I wouldn't put that past
Trollocs?
Rafe.
Trolling.
I definitely would not put that past Rafe in any way, shape, or form.
I think that'd be funny. But yeah, I think there's I think that there may be a kiss with Perrin and Fianle, but nothing more than that. Marriage.
So a blossoming romance.
Yeah. Well, an indication that he's open to.
Oh, sorry. I found a picture of me as Dark Perrin. It's actually with Kitty.
Show it.
So that works. Kitty is one of the other hosts on Dragonmount. She does mostly TikToks because she's also a working actor in LA.
I know, we've been meaning to get together with her.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
And Jansen.
Oh, cool.
And Jansen. Wow. Oh, I like the Dark Perrin. I like that. That looks good.
And that's the scars across his face. And he had a wolf pelt because he hunts wolves.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was fun. That's fun.
I love that. I love Dark Perrin.
And then
good details.
I don't know.
And you look like Kratos.
Yeah.
You always look like Kratos.
That's true. Dan DeSantos totally did that. Like, we do a thing at JordanCon where it's called the Charity Art Jam, where a bunch of the JordanCon artists who are there, they always offer it to it's a crazy thing for artists to paint or draw or whatever live while people watch you. Like, not a lot of artists can do that. Like some artists take days and weeks to complete a work, and they don't want people sitting there watching them, but some are all for it. So we always offer it to a bunch of artists, and some take them up on it. And Dan DeSantos was one of the people who did it, which was really nice. And he texts me, he called me and was like, "Hey, I just got my thing for the Charity Art Jam. They want me to draw a fantasy character, an original fantasy character. Can I paint you?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Twist my arm. Oh my God, look at that.
Whoa.
He did that in 2.5 hours.
That's insane.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Clout
Artists
right there.
Are unbelievable. Artists are unbelievable. The talent in entertainment is just like fucking crazy.
He's the guy that does all Brandon's cover art now too. And a lot of the internal stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, back to real time. Where are we? We're at Egwene hurling fireballs. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. And all the fear that elicits.
And I love the depth of showing the White Cloaks then try to save people.
Yeah. No, that's so
there
true.
The confusion.
And it gives the White Cloaks some layers to see this level of destruction caused by women who can channel. I mean, But then when you think about that juxtaposed with the whole speech that Leandra gives Nynaeve about the difference that they can make with the power, I mean, it's interesting, the like layers that they're giving the power.
Yeah,
you know?
This is such a poignant shot too, with the two white cloaks saving the man and the children. Ugh.
Yeah.
The depth that they're going to go into in this, I'm really excited for. Can't wait to see. And there it is. There's her spitting it out.
She does so much this season, saying very, very little. I can't wait until we actually see, more scenes with her where she is able to speak, because she just emotes so well. I think she made me cry, made me uncomfortable more this season than anybody else did.
Oh,
yeah, she's a powerhouse.
Look at that.
I'm excited for Amyrlin Egwene.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see her with the
Me too.
Oh, and all of this stuff. I mean, now when she gets captured again by the White Tower,
Oh my God, yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
I feel like I need to pull up another picture just to
Is Shohreh Aghdashloo absolutely confirmed for?
No.
Oh,
for Lyda.
Oh,
yeah. I just needed to get the taste of horror of Rhaena and Egwene.
I don't think it's been formally confirmed.
Yeah, no, it is not formally confirmed yet.
Yeah.
Just the leaks.
Oh, Dane. He's so much more sympathetic now.
Yeah, now that he's pretty. Oh, so that
now that he actually has a reason to believe the parent.
Yeah, I know.
Father.
So
I mean, he is also pretty.
He is also pretty.
He is also pretty, but if he does well in the Grinwell Cup this year, when he is historically one of the lowest vote getters, I'm going to be suspicious of you all.
Dane is coming.
Oh my God! Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Right.
I mean, I'm totally going to vote for Dane Bornhold this year.
So my feelings are that
no actors.
No actors. Okay.
Sorry, Thom.
No, you're good. That they're giving Dane Bornhold Gallad's redeemable white cloak storyline.
Oh, you could do that.
I can see them still having Gallad in the show, though I can also see them combining Gallad and Gallad's storylines.
Yeah.
As Trackened boys, like as the sons, as the princes. And then the White Cloak storyline, they just give it to Dane. And I really feel that way, mainly because of Jeffrem's scene in season 1, when he tells Moiraine, when he thinks that she's just a woman that got stabbed by a Trolloc blade, to go and seek out Aes Sedai healing. Because the Aes Sedai healing is the only thing that could heal that. Where I feel the Jeffrem Bornhold in the books and most White Cloaks would just be like, you're going to die. I'm sorry. That sucks. Like, they would never consider going to an Aes Sedai for healing, or suggesting going to an Aes Sedai for healing, unless they were very progressive thinking White Cloak, and there aren't many of those. So I think that was a build on showing where Dane is going to get it from when we see it come from him.
I think I think there's also a world in which you want someone to play off of.
Oh, speaking of,
when you've got a character, you want them to have someone to play off of that kind of like represents where I think there's a world in which Gallad is also used as a way for like both Gallad and Dane to be influencing each other, especially since Dane is there when Aemon Valda is killed.
Yeah.
And is like on Gallad's side. I mean, I think there's an interesting potential to develop that relationship. There's also potential for him to just eat Gallad's plot line. I'm interested to see what they do. I think it'll be cool either way. I'll be cool with it either way.
Ooh, that's a rough still.
Hate to see it.
That one.
That was like 1988 worthy of RoboCop, when you could slow motion the VHS tape and see the ear, his ear come off.
I mean, and the explosion. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a poignant thing for her as well. The fact that she felt the death. Because she kind of caused it, or in a way, she put this Suldam in this situation by
she was
force,
entirely
collar, like
entirely dependent on Nynaeve for her survival. even though she was a bad person.
Yeah.
And all we've had happen to Nynaeve this whole season has been Nynaeve relives her failures, and Nynaeve, experiences what it is to fail. And that's what happened at the end of last season. That's what happens when somebody gets brought very high, very early. There's nowhere to go but bad directions.
Yep.
Plus, sorry.
No, you go. You're the guest.
Plus we're, constantly looking at like, our decisions are causing people's deaths, even though like it's not clear always what the right decision is, because sometimes even when we're making the right decision, innocent people die. She's not necessarily an innocent person, but it is another example of that. Just like with Egwene and the fireball, and Rand with the four-gate explosions, bringing Lanfear into the fold. So yeah, I mean, I think all of this stuff is going to haunt them. I mean, Perrin killing Perrin killing Jeff and Bornhold, then realizing he has a family.
Yeah.
Oh, not only a family, but a family he's gotten to know who was pretty kind to him in a vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show, like all of these examples with
I didn't know she was wearing elf
Nynaeve and with Sita and with Perrin and Dane and Jeff and Bornhold. I think it goes to like stress that everybody is human, like the humanity.
Yeah.
Is like the one,
unifying factor.
Yeah.
She's got such good faces that she makes. Like you can really feel the emotion when
she's a fantastic actress. I mean, they all are. They're all amazing. Like the casting is just so great.
Give it up for KV Hendry.
Which one's that?
That's the casting director.
Oh yeah, okay. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She's a genius. I want her to cast everything forever.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that face. Look how happy he is.
I love this dude.
He's so great. Oh, it's such a great picture. Oh, and there's another one. He looks like he's about to start crying. Oh, and look, happy loyal too. Oh, there's Massima again. Very broody. Very broody.
Hot Seema. We love a hot Seema.
And this was right, like these two. I remember when I caught these, this frame and then this frame. Maybe they're gonna have a little, romantical thing going on there. Warriors bonding.
So I'm not gonna lie, but like my fanfic that I said at WotCon still holds true. Book Gallad with show Dane Bornhold. Like, I'm here for a Gallad Dane Bornhold romance. I just am. Tortured Gallad, tortured Dane Bornhold.
Listen, it'd be fun.
Oh,
it'd be fun.
I love how she does this with her body. I really want to talk to her. Like, if I get a chance to interview her, I want to ask her about how she developed this, because it's a thing that she does often when they're exuding this control, like where she twists her arms back behind her like she's being pushed by some force. It's a really interesting thing that she does.
It's good physical. It's good body work. It's good physical stuff.
Oh, good. This is a great shot of her too. Oh, so good. Look at that face. Ugh. Just oozing charisma there too.
Everybody's gonna have a bad time now.
Oh yeah.
Bad time.
Oof. Oh, and she went from angry to pleading really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at this, like she's almost disassociating here. Like she's so blank. She's not angry. She's not sad. She's not happy. She's not anything. She's
what she has to do.
Yeah.
I think part of it also is, going back to the fireballs thing, she has also just watched her and her peers be used as weapons that, killed a lot of innocent people.
Yeah.
So,
and there's that moment again.
Yeah.
Definitely feel like that's the realization of she just murdered her, where she didn't need to kill her. Like she killed her because she wanted to, not because she had to. I think that's the feeling.
I think she's in shock. I mean, she almost looks like she's in shock. She can't even
definitely. I'm sure.
what she's done.
100%. Yeah. Look at that. You could see the tears welling up in her eyes too. I love the architecture. I love the set design, the architecture, even though it's probably CG and stuff. I just love the way everything.
Yeah, it's still very cool.
So beautiful.
I forget where they filmed this.
It's somewhere in Africa.
Yeah.
Morocco?
Morocco? Yeah.
It was Morocco.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm laughing at this face, but look at that face. Look at
It's funny, it's a laugh-worthy face.
It really is. It's also just the juxtaposition between the two of them. just funny to me. I'm sorry. Ran, you're here? I think you're a hallucination. That's what.
Hey, you living?
Oh, it's a great. I love the jacket too.
Rising sun.
And the fish and the birds.
Oh, birds and fish. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look at that. That's clever.
Yeah. Fair's being a little creepster. Wave of a hand. There's Miri. And I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, is it Lopar?
No, the Lopar are the rhinos with no horns. This was the lizard
thing,
cat.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the lizard cat.
Hold on.
Noman Garden will shout it out. And you chat in a second. Thom.
Yeah.
Why can't I? What's going on?
What's up?
What? How do I? Alie, how do I make the window similar?
The all right, let's go. Angry Rand, frustrated Rand, bad hairpiece.
Yeah.
Oh, we get to see her nails all short too.
What the heck?
What happened?
Oh, I'm just screwing everything up.
No, that's okay.
Hold on a second. Sorry.
He's very surprised getting that box to cut open. Still, no one's talking about the horrible nest growing out of the box. I'm sure that's going to be fine and not have any repercussions. Still growing.
That's a later than problem.
Yeah, I guess so. Matt's like, I gotta go. And then here's her failing again. Like you could see the defeat on her, just the way she's sitting, like her shoulders and yeah. Yep. I can't do it. I can't do it. All right. I'm gonna speed by these pictures real quick.
Here. Right there we
What?
go. We're back.
Not gonna look.
There we go. All right, you're good. All right, so the only one I'm going to show, like, I'm not going to show the dog, but that's Perrin's face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Marcus too. Marcus is great. Kathy got to interview Marcus, and he talked about trying to embody Perrin, and he's done his research because the way he was talking about how a character that's so developed in his own mind in the books.
Yes.
And the way he talked about it in the interview was really, really cool. I think they put an article out on Dragonmount.com.
Ooh.
I love the White Cloaks armor and cloaks and stuff that they did in the show. The one arm piece with the different colors for the questioners and the White Cloaks and the ranks of military ranks.
I always think about the poor costume PAs though, having to launder those outfits.
The blood out of them.
I bet that takes forever. Shout out to the costume department.
Can we also?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can we also talk about real quick that Perrin picked up the axe?
Oh yeah,
the symbolism of Perrin and the axe, and it's a war axe that he picks up. Like
a double bladed axe.
Wood chopper's axe.
No, it is not. Sorry, I just wanted to interject that.
Okay.
Look at him.
Hey, go back to that still. Go back to 2 to 3 stills ago. Look at that. The horn actually there almost looks luminescent. It almost
they did
has
they 100%
a glowing effect to it.
They did absolutely did.
It looks magical.
It looks much more. That's much more of an impact in a still than it is in moving.
Yeah, hold on. There's
form.
No, that's.
Yeah. You can tell like the color effects were done
Yeah, I don't want to go back before Hopper again, so I'm just gonna let it go. But yeah, there's the shot where he's running up the stairs when he first leaves Perrin, where you can really see.
Yeah.
There's something about it that looks almost Sean Channy too, with the side, like the, the spine.
It almost mimics, their spine, the armor that they wear, like on.
I always thought of it. It almost looked like fish gills to me. That's what it was.
I know. Yeah, I can see that too. The Arthur Hawkwing looks awesome.
Amazing.
It does.
I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. And like Amaterasu looks so freaking great. And
we get some close-ups. Oh, look at him! There he is.
There's our friend. There's a friend of the show.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
Mother's milk in a cup. Ghost.
Not so happy with her. I really wanted her to be cooler.
They're not gonna cast somebody striking as Brigitte yet because we're not supposed to be looking at Brigitte yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
That makes sense.
I think that actress is striking.
I'm not saying she's not striking. I'm saying they're not gonna. Let me rephrase.
Let me
rephrase. They're not going to. They're not going to deliberately try to draw our eye to Brigitte because we're not supposed to be looking at Brigitte. I think this actress does a great job, and in no way did I mean to suggest that she does anything other than great work.
Good,
but in all likelihood,
otherwise
this actress was cast. They might have been cast as like named background. And probably not. But
what
like,
I'm assuming is this is their fight group.
Yeah. So
these
it's probably
their
stunt,
specifically their
stunt crew,
group.
and they're going to cast somebody else.
Yeah, probably.
When Brigitte matters.
I love how different they all look too.
Mm-hmm. Though they have cast a stunt person in a role before. I mean, they cast to Grain. Yeah. So it's possible that that's our Brigitte. I mean, I don't know.
He looks awesome too.
Very cool.
And we got like, I don't know, Aquaman.
Yeah. But I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely. These two are giving. Oh, they look very similar too. They have this. They have similar makeup here.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the spoiler level is covering the guy's forehead. Can you scoot the picture over a little bit?
This one?
No, other way.
That's as far as that's the whole shot. Oh, this thing. Yeah, let me get rid of the spoiler thing. Yeah, he is wearing the same. He has the same headpiece. I was just about to point that out.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
He's wearing the same type of headpiece that she is.
Huh.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if they're from like the same culture or something.
Yeah.
Like
and
Shara.
Look at the sash that he's got on. It's like this weird gold, and she's got the same thing.
Interesting.
Even the hair too.
But I bet these are these are stunt people. I bet that's like who they cast in these roles.
I actually think I remember this guy from another scene. I'm writing this down because I need to go back and look at
which scene.
One of the scenes where they're walking through a gate. Someone's walking through a gate, letting somebody through a gate.
Someone said Shivan and Kalyan are siblings.
Okay.
That would make sense.
That's what they're supposed to be. Okay. Thank you,
That's
Noman Garden. Noman Garden always with the clutch info.
Interesting.
And then just generic dude. But his shoulder
boy.
Yeah, what are those? Lion or Kraken or
it kind of looks like a Kraken. Like I can see that.
Right. You see that? Okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Oh, here we go. No, it's a face. It looks like a food dog, like a Chinese food dog.
Oh yeah. Huh. How cool is that?
And he's got a bow and arrow.
I hope we get more heroes of the horn in the show.
Yeah, me too. And I hope we hear them talk about stuff. I was hoping for like in the background here. I'm not thrilled about that mask. That looks a little.
I feel like they were like, that's going to be in a 5-second shot, and we just no one will clip generally this. Cool.
I mean, who's going to parse parse stills?
They know us.
Who's the redheaded lady?
Oh, there's a better shot of her right here.
Yeah,
it's feathers.
Oh, headdress.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
I was hoping for like an almost modern looking person, maybe like someone in like a World War II era,
like a first age person.
Yeah.
I get that, but I think that
is
that
too much.
might
I know it's
it
too
would take
much.
people out a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
and it
it's
also but it's cool.
I love his armor is so sick looking. The Hawkwing, oh,
it's so sick. I'm interested
Very
because we
Minas
haven't really gotten to this, but like Ardra Hawkwing is a hero of the Horn, but he also kind of is like the reason the Shan-Chan exist. So I'm curious about how they're gonna like.
Oh, it's Ishii, right?
Reconcile that.
Yeah, because
his sons are the ones that go across the ocean. You can't blame the son for the for the sins of the
No,
father.
but you can
and can't
blame
the
Ishii's
father for the sins of the
hate,
son.
but you can blame the hate of the Aes Sedai.
Yeah,
That's inherent.
I think that's solely on Ishii's feet too. I think we're gonna. I hope they dive into that in the thing because we learned that Ishamael was the one like the we don't really learn it. They don't tell us it outright, but you can infer from.
He says,
"Yeah, you can."
Go ahead.
He does say it
in book 1. He says, "I whispered in Archer Hawkwing's ear, and
he
the
did
the land Aes Sedai died."
Yeah, so like he's the one that really pushed that hate for Aes Sedai over the edge.
Yeah, because like 20 years, every 1,000 years for 20 years he was released, right?
Yeah, pop out and go, "What's up?" and then go back.
Because he did that in the Trolloc Wars, and then he did.
Looks like he's up to no good.
He's just so psyched to be there. He's so psyched to be there. Like, oh my god!
For those who don't know, Guy Roberts has been a huge fan of Wheel of Time for like his whole life. So like,
since big for him, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh crap, guys! I need to go. My son tried calling me 30 minutes ago from Seattle.
Yeah, and it's midnight. See, I told you we always go off on these tangents.
I'm so sorry. I have got to go, but I've got to call him back. We've been playing phone tag for almost 2 weeks, so
we're about to wrap up anyway. So let me pull these off so we could just say goodnight to you.
All right. I love you guys. It's always so great.
Good to see you.
So good.
It's been so fun to be on all these streams with you lately.
I know. We've been getting lots of fun.
I missed you guys I'm sorry I missed you guys last night. I had the stomach bug Friday and Saturday. It was not fun. Yeah, it's going around here in Texas.
It is here.
It was ugly, and I was not feeling great last night. So, but I'm glad to be here tonight with you guys. It was awesome. Thom, I love you.
I love you. And I'm going to post in the chat here the link to your Twitch. So make sure everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to Beth Doman over on Twitch, go and do it and get premium video game content and lovely commentary.
Currently playing The Last of Us on Thursday nights.
Yay!
The Last of Us Part 2 remastered here in a little bit, but people wanted me to start from the beginning. So T-Lao Thursdays.
Have you played Part 2 yet? Ever?
I played the first. Yeah, I played Part 2 before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And the Lauren Bailey story is heartbreaking to me. It's just absolutely the way she was treated.
Actress.
The
actress.
The voice actress for Abby.
I've heard something. I'm excited for who
terrible.
they cast.
Yes, me too. I can't wait.
Fucking
I have
love
such
that
mixed
actress.
emotions about season 2 of The Last of Us for real. Like that's another show that you need to do a rewatch.
I don't know.
We might. Oh, not us. You're not talking to us.
Anybody.
Yeah.
If you want guests, have me on it.
1.
I have been playing The Last of Us since it came out. I've played The Last of Us probably a dozen times in the last 10 years. So if you ever want somebody who's a fan and a stan.
Yeah, we've talked about covering that show.
Yeah, doing analytics.
So good. So good.
I've taken notes up to episode 4 for it, but we just haven't had time to like release it.
How dare you not have enough time?
I know it's really hard. We do not have enough time, but like,
I mean, oh my gosh, just make 28 hours in your day. It's not that hard.
I know.
All I got to do is quit my job, and then I can just do this all the time.
So like, comment, and subscribe so Gus can quit his job.
Yeah,
so
like let us all become full-time content creators, so we don't have to have real jobs.
That'd be amazing.
So much content. I would do so much if I didn't have to like worry about money.
I know.
Exactly. All right, y'all. I love you guys.
We'll see you later, Beth.
Bye.
So, we don't have I just scrolled through all of the other pictures real quick, and there's not too much going on over there. Like with the other stuff. The only thing that I really was like interesting that I saw in the stills was some of the channeling, but it's not that poignant. I figured it would be better just to throw final like thoughts on the episode and season, both seasons as a whole, how they are as a show on you guys. Let me know what you think.
I'm really happy.
I like it so much.
I'm really happy with the direction they're going in.
I like it a lot. The thing I really get into about the show is that Robert Jordan, when he set out, thought he was writing one particular thing, and then it became a second thing, and then it kind of became a third thing, and then it evolved into a fourth thing. And I love all four of those things, and they're all very different things, and it kind of like flows and changes, and like book 1 versus book 8 versus book 14 are so dramatically and completely different because he kept growing and changing as a writer and popularity and everything else. But what I'm so excited about is that the show came in saying, okay, great. We have all four of these, different things. Let's take what we already know is all the way through it, and let's like shape that so it's a one big cohesive long thing. It's just like they have the benefit of knowing steps A, B, C, D, E through Z, where Robert Jordan absolutely knew step A, he knew steps F, he knew step M, he knew step Z. He did for sure, but he had so much fun kind of exploring and playing and growing between there that it has so many, buds and branches where the show I think just gets to go like, woo, let's do this whole thing. I don't know.
I had the exact same thought with this, because especially if you go, and someone mentioned it earlier, I did. Maxwell mentioned it earlier. Like, this is something that never is done again, because it wasn't just an illusion. She was really on the other side of the wall after that, and the gate was closed. So the idea was there that maybe she did actually grow, and that's not something that they can do with the One Power ever again. And then her use of the staff and the idea of tracking people with the coins, uses of the One Power that are never, ever done again, because they don't marry into the way Robert Jordan developed the One Power system to work.
Nynaeve being able to track Egwene because she healed her one time.
Yeah. And then, like you said, the show having all of that before they go into it. Do you think Robert Jordan would have loved to have known how he was going to write it before of course he would have. Like, that would have
every writer
probably wouldn't have been as long.
Yeah, that's true.
Rapunzel, don't misunderstand. I do love the show, but they had not, until the end of this season, like, I don't know how to explain it, gotten into me the way that the books had. Like, the books are a part of me. Like, they're a part of just who I am. And so it really wasn't until the end of this season that I was just fully bought in. Like, I think the show's fabulous. I've said it on here before. Just another turning of the wheel. Like, it's a different story, and I had to look at it as a different story.
Yeah.
That's go ahead, Thom. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it'd be really cool if they lean in on it a little bit. Like, they reference something that is very obviously like something that happened in the book and not the show, and it's like a past Rand or something. That would be interesting.
That'd be fun. Crystal, your point about different turning, there's a longtime friend of our podcast named Bree, who is part of an author duo called Kit Roca, and she talks a lot about the literal, like, the brain chemistry of receiving a story and of hearing a story and of having a story be told to you, and how, like, the way that we three interpret and receive the Wheel of Time show is going to be different, like on a neuro level, from how somebody who has no concept of the books is going to, versus how Alie is going to, because, like, we go into this knowing I want to see X thing, and it's going to be different for each one of us, right? If I'm absolutely obsessed with Rand al'Thor, I'm going to be focusing really hard on when Rand al'Thor is there, because that's the part of the story that my brain will have told me, like, this matters. And that's not a problem. That's just like what I care about in the Wheel of Time is this thing. So I'm going to be letting a lot of the story hit me. And if it doesn't tie into the things that I think are important, I'm going to go like, yeah, okay, so whatever, that happened, but like we're going to get to, yeah, that happened. We're going to get to the part that really matters. And so it's so much fun for me, especially to see people watch, and this happened a lot with episode 8 of season 1, have people watch it and they go like, oh my God, I died, and then they go back 3 months later and they watch it again, they go, oh, I like this a lot more now. And it's because, like, and this is just human nature. This isn't a knock on anything. It's just like what we do when we receive a story is we're looking for what we think matters, and we're looking for what we care about. And it's basically impossible for us not to. So only really with with the benefit of, I think, time and distance for a lot of folks, is it more able to go like that's the breakthrough that you're talking about. It's really hard because, especially for folks who have had it be part of their blood and their DNA forever, we want X, Z, B thing. We don't want F thing, even if F thing was there in the books. It's not the part I liked, or F thing was less important in the books. That's such a great observation.
Kind of piggybacking off of that. I mean, and just like what's important in a story to me versus what's important in a story to somebody else. Like, to me, one of the coolest, most interesting things about the books is Robert Jordan very clearly unpacking his Vietnam War trauma, right? Like that his very clearly has something to say about what the state of like modern warfare is. And I posted something about that on TikTok one day. I was like, why I like the Wheel of Time, it's a deep reflection on trauma. And somebody wrote back, there's no trauma in these books.
Oh, seriously though? Like they were being serious?
They were serious. They're like, I don't think there's much about trauma.
It's interesting how people interpret things differently, but like, I don't see any of that in the books. And I was like, I don't understand how you can read these and not hear what we're all different, right? We're all in these books for different reasons. Yeah. And I think that the deeper things that he's saying about the nature of trauma, why we might be, go to the dark side, all of those things like really make up what the Wheel of Time is for me and when it's functioning best. And so I'm always like, I don't know. So that was a very shocking moment for me where I was like, oh, okay. Like I can see now like why there are people that go into the show with a completely different idea of what I think is important. And that's what's hard about adaptation, Yeah,
because it's where you are in your life when you read it. I was
totally
in 1998. I was like 18. I was a kid. I was 18, 19 years old when I first started reading these books. And so I think now if I were starting as a first-time reader, would feel completely different.
Yeah.
I identified with Moraine right off the bat. I was like, I was 28. And I was a teacher. So I was like, these kids won't listen to me. I was like, I get
it. Go ahead, Thom.
Oh no, I was just I don't know what it is. Like I like, and this isn't saying that the Wheel of Time is bad, but I like bad, like I can even like bad content. Like I take projects for not even all the time as their whole. Like, I can appreciate pieces of it. Like, oh, I really enjoyed the dialogue in this movie, or I liked these particular scenes. The choreography and the fighting scenes was a lot of fun. Like I remember, like, I've been reading the Wheel of Time for 20 years. And when I first watched these episodes, I had no, like, I hate this, or like, this isn't the Wheel of Time that I know. Like, I didn't have any of those feelings. And it's funny because specifically I used to get into arguments all the time with this guy at this comic book store who is like, just like, get off my lawn type of, like, Marvel's ruining comic books with their changing of the blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you'll see if they, took your Wheel of Time books, because I've always been a giant Wheel. And this was before the Wheel of Time stuff. He and I are no longer friends, but we weren't. I'm guessing we weren't really, because of he was an acquaintance, I guess.
Sure.
But anyway, I had him in my head while I was watching this. Like, I could see him over my shoulder just waiting for me to explode. And I was waiting for me to explode to be like, if something was so bad. And I never had that feeling. The whole time I was just like, I love the costuming. Rosamund Pike is such a great Moraine. I always pictured Lan as a little bit bigger, but then at the same time I internalized and was like, that's because like, I always pictured it as like the generic hero, and the generic hero in my mind is like a white Conan, because that's who I am. and being able to unpack that is a I don't know. I don't know if that's something that is not as common as I thought it was, but
I'm with you. I actually, episode 8 was my favorite episode. I think in
Mine
part
too.
because I knew how much episode 8 of season 1 was my favorite of season 1, which is very controversial take. But it was partially because I think I was looking at it from a film and TV perspective, where I was like, they had so much. Like I was entrenched in being an executive in TV and film at the time. They had so fucking much that they were going through and dealing with. And so like, I was kind of like, it's kind of like if you had Simone Biles like vaulting over lava and she like stuck the landing but hopped a little, like had a little bit of a stumble, and we were all like, idiot.
Yeah.
How dare you stumble?
While she was in midair, they took the mat away and replaced it with spikes and put a little trampoline in the middle of the spikes that would bounce her onto a second smaller mat that was at an angle. And
so that was like the fact that they were able to make anything at all that was like
COVID,
watchable.
Barney
was like, wow. So I was like, Gus turned to me and was like, huh, you know, like there's a lot to think about there. And I was just like, I can't believe they did it.
Yeah. I'm so happy they finished.
I was like, I'm literally floored that they made something watchable after
especially with Barney leaving.
Yeah. Oh, wait, like they lost actors. They lost 2 actors.
Yeah.
They lost their location. They lost their practical effects.
That was so huge too.
Yeah.
Having to stay in Prague when they planned to go all over Europe.
Yeah.
Islands,
they were fucked. You know, they lost, and not to mention that like likely they lost a big portion of their budget because they probably already paid for all of that stuff. So then to have to redo everything
and build sets they weren't planning on building.
And like, and
their,
not to mention all of the FX people were freaking slammed because everyone was suddenly needing FX over practical effects. So all of a sudden you couldn't get good people for that because everyone was taken. And so then you're at the last minute having to get all of these effects done. This is a fucking nightmare.
Not to mention that Amazon didn't put a lot of stuff, like they were dedicating most of their resources to Lord of the Rings at that time.
So like,
if they would have had a $400 million budget, like all right, 200 million of that was for the acquisition of the rights. So if they would have had a $260 million budget to develop a season of the Wheel of Time, I like it.
Yeah. Not to mention for every time the set was shut down, not to mention they had to pay for COVID compliance people. That was an additional expense that nobody prepared for. And every day that they were shut down probably cost them like $250,000.
Oh yeah.
So like it was a tough time to be in entertainment. And like, I don't know. I just was kind of like, wow, I can't even believe they made something watchable.
Like, you
like
did it.
Feat.
It's done.
So
it's an accomplishment to complete a project in the best of times.
Yes. Honestly, it's like a Sisyphean task. You're pushing that fucking ball up the hill and no one is helping you and no one will want to help you until you get the ball rolling by yourself. And then all of a sudden people will hop on sometimes. And then like, if that ball loses momentum, everyone suddenly stops pushing. And it's like, it's fucking hard. And so, I was just like, I can't believe it that they were able to do that during COVID. So I was impressed personally. But I also get why people were like, oh, that wasn't quite what I was expecting. All of that stuff is totally valid. I think from my perspective, I was like, that's my favorite episode because I can't believe they pulled something off with everything they had going against them. Because I think what we're seeing in season 2 is a lot closer to what they wanted in terms of what the show was going to be.
When they showed the channeling, like it was within like 2 minutes of episode 1, they immediately jumped in to just show channeling. And when they did the Brita filter weave,
loved that.
That was so cool.
That's so the cleansing.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a reference to that. And I cannot wait to see more intricate weavings and like how teaching too in the White Tower.
We want more time in the tower. We have to get more time in the tower.
Absolutely. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool. I'm so excited.
I'm super psyched. I think, I think we're getting, and now season 3, we're going to be getting the first season that's not going to be hamstrung by something, right? That's not got the departure of actors that they have to make.
Knock on something.
But like they don't have the departure of actors that they have to make up for and like keep justifying. They don't have a strike. Oh yeah. They don't have a strike that they have to deal with. They don't have. So hopefully everything will be peachy keen. I mean,
I hope. I love Show.
I'm begging the world for like one nice year in entertainment.
You gotta watch The Expanse. We started it. I've read the books. It's very good.
Yeah, but I'm begging the world. I'm like, one easy year in entertainment, please.
Yeah, until it's the Lord of Chaos's turn, then and
let them rule and all that.
Yeah,
right.
The Lord of Chaos can take a break.
This was so much fun. I love having you.
Thank you so much for having us. This was a blast. And
yeah, I love.
Yeah, I seriously cannot wait to listen to you guys. Like, I'm so excited.
It's either really in-depth nerdy analysis for way longer than you think it's going to be, and everyone says to us, this is what happens without fail. Everyone says to us, oh my God, how could you have talked about 1 hour of an episode for 5 hours? Like, and they all say it.
And then
they go, wow, actually, all 5 hours of those were necessary. And I actually think that you didn't cover enough. And
that always happens. They go like, why didn't you talk about such and
why
such
didn't you
thing?
talk about this? And I'm like, at some point we had to say we're done.
Yeah. We had to hydrate, sleep, eat food.
We had to put the episode out. Please have mercy on us. Or a lot of dick jokes.
A lot of that.
I one of my favorite things is like I could not believe that they stabbed to death Pedro Nile, a 90-year-old man.
I know.
I was just like, throw him a retirement party. I was like, not to sound ageist, but like, I mean, if we're going between either forced retirement, which is not chill, but certainly chiller than assassinating a 90-year-old. I was just like, he's 90. Wait. Like it's
just what time.
It's not exactly the new 30. Like
especially in a time where they don't have penicillin.
Exactly. I'm like, he gets one bad infection away.
Yeah. And he's unwilling to accept any healing from an Aes Sedai.
Someone cough on him.
Yeah. So that's what I said. I was like, someone cough on him.
Yeah, for real.
I was dying. Anyway, so stuff like that where we like to joke.
It's fun. Like I said, I love both of your big wrinkly brains and all of the stuff that comes out of your mouths.
Well, we love.
I like your big wrinkly brain as well. And Crystal, it was such a delight to meet you.
Thank you.
Are you guys going to be at JordanCon this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay! So this is going to be our first one.
Oh,
Crystal, first JordanCon. Oh, you're gonna die. It's so much fun. It's like I was really nervous to go to my first JordanCon. I was really nervous because
not just for the spoilery reasons.
No, though that was Gus's. Like Gus actually, his Fitbit or whatever, his watch was like crazy high. It like gave him notifications that were like, your heart rate is way higher than it normally is.
You're in a very high stress situation.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It was like, you're working out a lot more than you usually do.
We're laughing at your pain, but it's
and I was more nervous about like the social element because I was like, I don't get to really know anybody because I'm like non-spoilery, so I'm not allowed to like go into any communities or anything. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like so awkward, and everyone's gonna be talking about stuff I'm not allowed to talk about. And like, no, it was a freaking blast. You're gonna have the best time. Crystal, hit me up at JordanCon.
Oh,
We're gonna
for
have
sure.
the best time. Yeah,
I'm excited. While we were sitting here, my anxiety got me for so long. I was at the Overflow Hotel, but I think I might have a room at the actual.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's
we
so
stayed
fun.
off site the first year because we booked late. It's really fun either way, but it is super fun if you can stay there.
I know. I'm fingers crossed.
Speaking of super fun, though, today they actually announced Crystal, you don't know, but for those who also don't attend or haven't attended, there's a dance party every year, and it's usually themed. And this year they announced their theme, and I'm pretty excited.
We picked the wrong year. So last year, I and Danny and Critter all dressed up as the Val and Luca circus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, we were 1 year away.
Yeah.
So now I guess we got to bust those costumes out again.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, now they get another use. I'm debating Brigitte's sequin dress or the strongman. I don't know which one I want to go for yet.
Ooh. I think we should bring Petey, and I'll be what's their name with the dog?
Littell?
I'll be Littell. Littell with the dog. No, we can't bring Petey. Unfortunately, he's too big for the plane.
85-pound pit bull in your suitcase?
Yeah, he'll fit.
Yeah.
He'll fit. He'll fit under the seat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
This is fun as hell.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
a
much for
great
having
idea.
us.
Thank
And
you.
please, we'll come back anytime for Avatar shit. That would
I'll
be
let
so
you.
fun.
I'll give you guys like the list of the episodes and stuff, and you can let me know when you want to come back.
Sweet. And can
It'll
I
be our honor.
promote one thing?
Absolutely.
Our
That's what I was going
YouTube
to ask
channel. We've started doing live
yeah.
reactions to stuff. We're really close. We're like really getting
We're
close
coming
to
up on
1,000
1,000
followers,
subs.
and we would, or subs, or
Yeah.
whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We'd be really jazzed if we got some more. So that would be super chill. If anybody wants to
obviously
do that.
sub to Dragonmount first.
Obviously that.
If you're not, what are you doing? Oh, that's look. I get. Huh?
Yeah, it doesn't do it when you want it to, though. It only does it by surprise.
Well, I just posted links to the podcast and to your YouTube channel, so make sure everyone go to that. And I don't think I have the YouTube. I don't think I have the YouTube in my in the description for this, but I will go and put it in there.
You're so great. Thank you.
You're the best.
Thank you for
I was
coming.
like, it's just something we're trying to grow. So I was like, I should probably promote that.
Always. And when I don't want to put this on you, but do you have like where are we going to see, like, what are we going to see next? Like, what's your next thing?
Episode 7 breakdown episode should be out Friday.
Okay.
It will.
I didn't want to put that on you because
no, it's okay.
We're putting it on ourselves. We're like, it's been
we
2
need
weeks.
we need to get them done. It's been a few weeks. We shifted back into book episodes for a little while because I have to hold the pose for 5 seconds. I'm gonna do that. We shifted back into book episodes for a while to because the show episodes take really long time. But we're looking forward to getting back into it because episode 7 and 8 are really fun. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get the balloons. I think it's when you do 3 fingers.
Or is it like this?
Woohoo!
I was counting with Mississippi's. Okay, I was counting with Mississippi's.
2 fingers.
I don't know how it works. Do you have an iPhone? Is that there you go.
It's a
Yay,
Mac
that's fun.
thing.
I can do it on command now. Yay!
Is it an iPhone thing?
Yeah,
it's a Mac thing. Yeah,
Mac thing. That's what it is. The one thing that I'm jealous of for Macs. That's it.
Me too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
hey, thank you. And please let us know.
Say goodnight, Alie.
Good night.